Hello, everyone, and welcome to our Vampire the Masquerade 5th Edition Chronicle Vancouver by Night Delve into Darkness. As a warning, this is a mature game and it explores some dark and troubling themes. These may include body horror, gore, violence, loss of character agency, gaslighting, mind control, and many others. Our players have discussed consent and boundaries, and we collectively avoid situations that may be triggering. Players will always let me know if anything gets uncomfortable by using yellow and red cards in our private chat. If you as a viewer ever feel uncomfortable or triggered, please pause and step away. Our streams are going to be available on YouTube after the game, so you can always come back to an episode when you feel ready or skip forward to the next one. Thank you to our sponsor, Michaela Artoria of Artoria Designs, who creates these beautiful dice boxes. Please visit him on Instagram, and we will have the link in the chat, and you can even use the top part as a rolling tray if you really wanted to. And they smell great. Oh yeah. I think it's mahogany. I'm not sure. It's one of those woods. Next up is Marley Games. Marley Games is a collective of TTRPG veterans ready to work for you. From actual play production to tabletop game development, they're a one-stop shop for all of your creative needs. Investing in the World of Darkness streaming community helps keep channels like this one online and thriving. And they greatly appreciate any love you can share with them on their Patreon or various media platforms. And I will have the Patreon in the chat, and I think I'm pointing in the right direction. If I'm not, yeah, no, wait, that way. Yeah, the other way. That's the way. It's, I don't know, the chat's somewhere. If it's on YouTube, it's down there in the description. It's one of those things. And Dogmite Games. Dogmite Games is the best gaming company you've never heard of. They can combine craftsmanship with artistry to create truly unique pieces of functional art for your game. From dice boxes and rolling trays to fully sculpted Valhalla screens for GMs, each piece is created on site in their workshop in Michigan by a devoted team of craftsmen. And I've got my gangrel on over here. I don't know if you can see that, probably. And if you have a dry erase marker, you can do this with the thing. You can basically go, oh no, Duran's getting eaten. He's getting deodorized. What's happening? Yeah, that's right. I said Duran.
That's ominous.
He did say Duran.
Funny, it's not written down on my Dogmite
It's
sheet.
hey, it's usually me that's about to be the subject of that joke, so I'm happy that it's moved on to someone else. Hooray.
I'll
Yes.
take that.
Joke.
So, when last we saw the Intrepid Coterie,
We were getting along.
they were getting along. And that's all the news that I've got.
That's it. That's the game.
Jude had come back from meeting with the other coterie over in Adjacent, and you can see that over in the YouTubes over there. I just posted that not too long ago. And we're going to introduce all of the vampires for this particular game. Let's start up in that way, upper left-hand corner with Abigail.
Hello, my name is Joanna, and I will be playing Abigail this evening. Both of our pronouns are she, her, and I am so looking forward to whatever it is that we're going to get up to that's probably going to cause us to, get into a lot of trouble.
You guys? Trouble? Really? And Job.
Hey everybody, I'm Prince, aka Dimples and Dice around the internet. I am playing Jalil, Ja, Kato, Banu Hakim, Assassin, and yeah, I'm surprised that things are going this smoothly, which is why I'm gonna have to kill my brothers.
That makes sense.
Legit.
Yeah.
That's the math. Just 2 plus 2.
Legit.
Also, if you want to see more of Prince, go over there to the World of Darkness page, or over there, yeah, I don't know, click on something, and you can see Prince playing in a Sabat game, which I think is still there somewhere. Mordecai.
Hey, Mike, he, him, playing Mordecai, he, him. Doesn't know what to do with himself now that everybody's getting along.
That's fair. That's entirely fair. Jude.
Hello, my name is Sarah. I'll be playing Jude Duncan, the Brawlin Tremere. Um, I'm scared of the premonition. I've been thinking about it like once a day since last week. I'm very, very concerned about that still. But in character, Jude has no idea. And I'm assuming because we're getting along, that means Mordecai is going to antagonize Jude for no reason. So I look forward to that.
It's always a reason.
That's fair.
On reason. Okay,
That's
great.
entirely fair.
But yeah, ready to go.
And last but certainly not least is Duran.
Good evening. I'm Cliff. I'm playing Duran Giovanni, simple tailor, he, him for both of us. And much like the rest of the crew, 8% of my plans have been completed. I'm not sure what to do now without a full slate. I'm going to have at least an hour a week where I'm going to have to pick up a new hobby. So I'm thinking it's soon to become a target-rich environment. I'll have hobbies.
That's fair.
Mordecai and Duran hunting episode.
And
Ball.
I am Storyteller Steve, he, him, or they just yell Storyteller at me and then I reply. So.
That's your own fault.
Yeah, it's true. I volunteered for this. So we're going to begin this particular episode with Duran, who is taking a little bit of a trip via.
Now, are we
Vancouver.
rousing?
Yes, this would be the next night. So Cliff, who is the student who always put up his hand and said, "Teacher, are you going to collect the homework?"
That was me. No shame.
Yeah,
No
yeah.
shame. That was me.
I worked
I'll
for
make
that
that
crap.
right here
They
for the whole
better
internet.
collect
I
it.
used to look at y'all with just disdain.
I want those grades,
Absolute.
baby.
Yeah.
Absolute daggers being
Nice.
thrown in Duran's direction.
A lot of shade over there.
Was there like a we could feed if we were above 1 since the last night in the
Yeah,
elapsed time?
Yeah,
Okay, cool. Because I failed.
You're all at 1 initially
Great.
for this particular episode.
Dun, dun, dun.
If you look at LA by night, it won't matter because you'll be at 4 or 5 before the end of the episode.
Wow.
Ja hit a thumbs up. Jude,
Mhm.
thumbs down. Abigail, thumbs down. Duran, thumbs down. Mike, you got to tie it up a little bit. There we go. Okay. You know what
Let it
Meatloaf
come
says?
through.
2 out of 5 ain't bad. I'll admit it. He said it at one point in time or another. Probably. It's Meatloaf. Probably said something along those lines. So Duran, you hear Duran.
Oh, si, padre. What can I do for you tonight? Oh, let me guess. I should eat.
You're learning.
Si. I might be slow, but I will get there. It is an uphill climb.
You should probably grab one of the miscreants along the way, or that Uber driver.
We don't want to leave too much of a mess, but you know, if he proves to be resistant to certain things, there are many ways to take care of a problem.
Indeed.
A little snack, a quick phone call.
I will leave you to that. Also, you should probably prepare for Giancarlo.
Si. I have a hotel booked in his name. Everything. Wow, you know about Giancarlo. You know everything in my skull, don't you?
Mm-hmm.
You need to sweep out the back corner on the left. It's getting a little dusty back there.
There are a lot of cobwebs here.
See, things are preparing, and rust. Things are preparing, and you know rust never sleeps. Things are being prepared for Giancarlo.
Jude, what you hear? Hey, should probably eat somebody.
Yeah. I don't know, kind of want a little bit of an edge going into tonight, so might just
Do you though?
might just wait. Yeah.
I mean, if you frenzy and then I take over, then we might end up eating one of those fae creatures.
Yeah, I don't know what that would do. I don't know if now is the time
I
to
don't think it's a good
experiment.
thing. Yeah, I really don't think it's a good
No. No, listen, don't be mad. Don't be mad. Don't be mad. But um and don't tell anybody this. But I think I like Cassandra.
Who am I gonna tell?
I don't know how all of this works. I have no idea what you're capable of.
Okay,
Don't
putting aside that I'm really not happy right now, who the fuck am I gonna tell?
I'm sorry that I believe in your potential. Sorry.
And that's the last you hear of that. Before there's a knock at your door.
Uh the door to the residential quarters of the Chantry?
Yeah.
Okay, just checking. Okay, I'll go and answer it.
The ghoul that's generally there, George, he runs about the chantry. You recognize him as Cassie's ghoul. He's like,
Okay.
there's a delivery for you.
I swear if Mordecai sent me more pipes. Like the joke barely works the first time.
I
Um
I don't know if it's from.
okay, yeah, all right. I'm yeah, I'll come up and I'll get it.
And you recognize this particular area. It's the foyer that is kind of the public face of the chantry where they can accept deliveries and stuff like that. And he brings you up there. And they're like the entire foyer, pretty much like stem to stern. The whole thing is completely and utterly covered in vases of roses. Yeah, these are for you.
Okay. I think I know who they're from. I feel like I could take a get.
There is a note.
Oh, okay, and Jude will get
Uh,
the note and read it.
it just says from Cassandra.
That's gonna be a problem.
Yeah, do you want me to just put these in your room or like where do you want me to put them?
Actually, you know what? Because there are so many of them, I think what you should do is just kind of like spread them around the chantry wherever they would look nice. So like, wherever they might be enjoyed by the kindred that cohabitate
And
here.
you've kind of
So
tuned into George at this particular point in time, and you know that by the time you get back with Abigail, there's going to be like pedestals kind of set up with like just the rose vase on top of them. Like he's kind of in charge of the interior design of the chantry, so
well, perfect.
Cassius is going to be pissed.
Oh, poor Cassius. That's too bad. I actually would like to sense the unseen in this rose-filled environment before they get distributed.
Sure, that's
I'm
why I
just
brought
covering
out
my
my
bases
book.
here.
And for some
Okay.
reason, I've got a bookmark directly to the Diablerie page. Don't ask me why.
But by sheer coincidence, you're Sense the Unseen fans.
Right. Right. Okay, I'm rolling wits and aspects then.
Yes, you are.
Alrighty. Cool. That's a messy crit. Cool. Very cool.
You're going to get hungrier. And how many successes did you score?
That would be 5 total.
5? Okay. You blink a few times and you look around the now rose covered foyer to see if there's any like wraiths or anything supernatural about these particular flowers. And you see your beast standing in front of you with her arms crossed, like you can't be fucking serious.
What?
I didn't act. I would like to communicate this telepathically and not out loud.
Fair enough.
And just sort of stand there. Jude will just sort of stand there very still and to her beast say, I didn't ask her to send these here.
Let me at this fucking Toreador, and I'll tear her limb from limb.
You're not this isn't real. This isn't real. It's not real. It's not real. Cassandra is here before me, and you exist as a part of myself, but it's not the you that was here. It wasn't the you.
Okay. I'm not me then. Is that what you're saying? I don't like this gaslighting. It's just wrong.
I'm not gonna apologize to you. I'm not apologize if that's what you're looking for me to
fine, and then
myself.
She disappears.
And yeah, that makes sense. My hunger goes up then. So
quick vibe check. How you feeling?
3. No, it's great. No, I live for this. No, this is fantastic.
So you're just going to be going about your business, I'm assuming, with Abigail, preparing to get down to the park directly, or picking up Duran first?
Probably picking up Duran first before the park, right?
Yes, I think it was. Yeah, we're swinging by Duran.
So I'm guessing you're not taking a Pixie.
Not this time.
Okay, yeah, you're not going to ride to the park with Duran and the little basket in the front.
Basket. No, as amusing
or
as
standing
that
on the
is.
spokes in the back and like.
Oh, I like that one. I like that one better. That's very
90s.
Stephen King coming of age.
Yeah. So let's flip over to Duran quick like, and Duran is taking an Uber.
A specific Uber down to where we had met the court.
Yes.
Of the
to the convention center.
To the convention center, yes.
To the convention center.
So while we're
so the Uber driver is completely and utterly talkative. Like, hey, wait, you going down to the convention center? Are you going to be staying in the area? There's a pretty good hotel near there. It's like right across the street. You can pretty much just, stumble out of bed in your slippers.
Now, where's the Hotel Vancouver from there? Because I do know the Hotel Vancouver. I'm arranging for some.
Yeah, that's
not too far.
It's not too far. You can get there in a couple minutes. Good. Yeah, it's a quick walk.
Good. I've had some of my people book some rooms there for more of my people. My family is coming over from the old country. Right. This car looks very familiar. A couple of days ago, did you pick up two of my people in front of where was it? A weird looking guy with a mask and a young lady.
Yeah.
I
remember them.
Big,
they were
built like how do you say it here in this country? A brick shit house.
They're good tippers.
Strapping.
Yeah.
See. It is yes. Those are two of my. Such a coincidence to be in the same car that picked up my people. This is amazing.
Yeah. No problem. So it's just kind of the same deal. Like, you just want me to not pay attention to what you're doing, and then I get an extra tip. Is that what
I don't care at all. I mean, you're gonna get an extra tip anyways. From what I heard, you're very kind to my friends. So it's we're driving down there, and I'll just continue making small talk till we get there. Yeah. When we stop, and I fish out the money from the wallet, I'm going to hold it right here. So he turns so that I can lock eyes with him. And that's where forgetful mind is going to happen.
This is automatic against the human types, I believe.
It is indeed. It does require a rouse.
Does indeed require a rouse.
And that one I passed, thankfully. And then it is my...
Celerity.
charisma and domination, which is, you know what? I'll take half for 3 successes.
So you're going Forgetful Mind?
Yes, I'm going to rewrite some of his memories.
All right. 3 successes. What are you putting in there?
I'm just going to tell him the conversation that pair had was much like my own conversation with you. It was about the Vancouver Canucks hockey team. It was about the weather. It was about the location you were dropping them was a wonderful little place where they had a little bit of business. They talked about how wonderful their boss was and said that they would definitely recommend you to the 5-star rating. Just fantastic. And that is it. You heard nothing else. The gentleman was not wearing a mask. He was a large, gruff individual with a full beard and mustache, graying, looked to be about in his late 50s, perhaps.
Okay, so about that tip.
Oh, see, and I'm going to pay him double what the charge would have been. So I'll tip him over and above.
Okay.
And go and see, and I will 5-star as well. Excellent. Grazie. The ride was comfortable, and the socializing. So many of the drivers just stare at the road and say nothing. It was wonderful to talk with somebody who had the personality.
Sure. Yeah, no problem. And you can tell he's kind of got that post dominate kind of like his brain is like kind of sewing things back together because he's trying to like kind of rationalize the fact that it's like, okay, yeah, oh, okay, yeah.
You have a wonderful evening.
You as well, yeah. And then he drives
Okay.
off.
Excellent. And then I will head into the around. Remember, if I remember right, we were around the side of the convention center because
Yes.
it was by the water and then down some stairs.
Yes.
So I will head back.
The convention center itself kind of looks like a ship jutting out from the Vancouver area proper, and you walk around to basically the end of the ship, and there's a kind of porthole type thing, like a where you would load cargo that would open up.
Right. So I stroll around there. Do I see anybody in the area at all?
Depends on how you're looking at the area.
Um, I don't have that type of aspects, unfortunately.
You do not.
I can use my heightened senses
Give me
and
a
try.
wits and awareness. Let's
That I can definitely do.
Let's go that route.
Okay. Wits and awareness. Okay. I'm not going to bother rousing anything this early in the day or in the evening.
Probably a good idea.
You know what? That's I am going to drop a willpower though. I've got that to spare. So that'll allow me to do that. And there we go. So that's 2 10s and a 9, so that's 5.
5 successes.
Yes.
You look around, kind of, this is a good place in Vancouver to take photos. So you kind of see, like, there's the odd person here or there. There's I believe the large Vancouver sign is nearby where people can, like, hang off of it and take photos and, do the touristy thing. And you see that there's one particular person that isn't actually kind of milling about. Like everyone kind of seems to be going in and out. They go over here, they take some photos, they, pose for the camera, and then they move on. But there's one person that doesn't seem to be moving.
That's who I'm looking for. The one who doesn't act like a tourist. So what do they look like?
He looks like a tall man, kind of like slender, like long, kind of almost unnaturally so. He's got like black slick back hair, kind of like sunken in face a little bit. Looks like he could definitely use a couple sandwiches.
That's our boy.
I'm going to stroll over and say, excuse me. You look like someone who might work in this area. I'm looking for a gentleman named Chauncey. I had left him my number, but had neglected to pick up his. He works for New and Night, Mistress New, Signora New and Night.
And then your phone rings. And I have a cat.
No, I have a meow as a ringtone.
Ringtone.
Yeah.
That's my
No
ringtone.
cannon.
I'm totally making that canon.
C. Duran Giovanni.
Mr. Giovanni, and you recognize Chauncey's voice.
See, you're good. And I'm going to kind of stroll away from this gentleman I've been standing near. You're exceptionally good. I'm impressed.
I have my moments.
Oh, see, we are wondering if we could request your presence or the presence of an ambassador from your court to sandwich later on tonight or tomorrow night.
For what purpose?
We would like to do some communication. We would have some questions and perhaps some beginning. We are taking the first steps to fulfilling the contract between your Baroness and ours.
I see.
There are some questions about it. We are exploring them, and of course, as you learn new things, new questions arise, and we are learning quite quickly. So we would like to speak with someone who is knowledgeable slightly about these three areas in order to ascertain how best we can apply ourselves so that we are not wasting time and energy.
Right. I believe I see what it is that you're saying. I would be at the sandwich tomorrow. Tomorrow I would be able to make it. Yes.
See, that would be wonderful. Grazie. That would be greatly appreciated. On behalf of my Baroness, we extend to you our hospitality. Let's just say 1 hour after sunset. So, 2 hours. Let's say around 9 o'clock.
9 o'clock. Excellent.
See.
I will be there.
Wonderful. I look forward to seeing you.
And the line goes dead.
Not even a good evening. Okay. Business is business. Excellent. And now I will go stand on the side of the street, just kind of casually waiting.
Waiting. So for Ja, what would Ja be doing on a typical evening?
Ja doesn't consider this to be a typical evening.
Fair
Because
enough.
after the information they got the other night, Ja is on edge at the very least. So Ja is probably hunting. He is looking for any and every sign of not just his brethren, but any sign of Sabat, anybody who knows things, and he is not going about this subtly. He is hemming people up, hanging people over buildings like Batman. Somebody knows something.
Where were the other drugs going?
I swear to God, man. I swear to God. Swear to me.
So you would have. There would have been an ability to track down somebody who you would basically let's open up this particular scene with you hanging a thin blood over the edge of a building. I swear, man. I swear. I don't know anything about this. I don't know. What did you call it? The Sabbath? Is it is that a religious thing? I don't know. I don't know what that is. I don't know what that
goes
is.
a little bit. Just grabs right back. Just. You're not being very helpful right now.
Well, I don't know anything. Look, I know a guy who knows a guy. I could probably find out something for you.
What do you have for me right now?
I don't know anything. I
I
just
wonder how fast a thin blood would heal if I dropped them off of a building. You know,
well,
the
uh,
elders
I don't.
takes a little bit in torpor.
You,
You
I
might
don't.
just splat.
I don't really heal that fast, man. Come on. You just don't don't do this. And there's a cat in a nearby alley. Yeah.
I was like, who are the people you know?
I know. I know like Alex, and I know Frankie, and I know there's a Caroline. And there's like a few others that are,
This
you know,
sounds like a bunch of names, people, and songs.
no, they're real, man. They're real. I swear, they're real. Like I've met them. Some of them can do like that. The thing with the lighter and the butane and the I don't know. They mix like coffee grounds or some shit into the blood, and then it like tastes all funky and shit. They can do it. I can't. I don't know how to do that.
And as he hears this stuff, Ja slowly pulls him back,
Thank you.
drops him.
Thank you. Thank God. Thank God. Uh,
Your god doesn't matter here. I'm your god now.
okay.
Show me to the people who know things.
Well, I can't do it like now because they generally it's like tomorrow. Tomorrow though. Tomorrow they come to like the thing they usually show up at the bar that we usually meet at because there's we enjoy some things, you know what I mean, like we it's called I don't know, have you ever been there, the Succubus Club? Yeah, we generally go and hang out there a little bit.
That place is trash and the people who hang there are worse.
Harsh, dude, like wow, that's mean. Why you gotta be like that?
I nearly dropped you off of the building, and your response is that was mean.
Yeah,
You have no
that
idea
was
what I can do.
totally mean. I mean, do you need like a hug or something? Like, is that what it is?
Ja just takes out a dagger and just stabs it into this guy's thigh.
Ah!
Okay,
Oh!
clearly my point wasn't coming across clearly enough.
Ah! Oh!
Tomorrow, if you're not at X place where I can find you, then this will be so much worse. Do you understand me?
The Succubus Club.
The Succubus Club.
Yeah.
Meet me there,
Okay.
just after nightfall,
Right.
or else I'll eat you.
Okay.
And Ja pulls out the dagger,
Ah!
licks it, sticks it back in his holster.
You're used to kindred blood at times.
Mm-hmm.
And this is like,
This is Diet Coke.
yeah, this doesn't taste great. This is like the Diet Dr. Pepper of kindred blood. If there was a Diet Fanta, you'd be like,
You
this would
want a
taste like
Diet Coke? You got
yeah.
a Diet RC Cola.
Yeah. This is like weak. Like, you're used to hunting people down and getting a little adrenaline in there, but this is just like there's no adrenaline. There's no. You're just like, it's almost not worth drinking, really.
Ja texts Jude. Says, I hope whatever you're doing is going better than what I'm doing right now. And Ja has a picture of the guy hanging off the top of the building, him holding him.
I think Jude just sends crying laughing emoji a couple of times. and like thumbs up. And I think she now this is just to Ja, not to the group
Mhm.
chat, but I think when she probably took a picture of some of the roses and sends it to Ja and is like rose emoji, sweat drop with a on the smiley face emoji, uh, and just writes cool, 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 and sends the picture.
And Ja just, you see the dots show up on the screen a couple times. Like Ja's like, and there's just a bunch of question marks. Like what?
Typing backspace, backspace, backspace. Typing backspace, backspace, backspace.
And then just
And
like then another message immediately after that, like it wasn't me.
and she's like, I know in all caps. And she's like, tell you later.
Sandwich. That's all you get as a response, just a sandwich emoji.
All right.
Ja also sends a message to Duran, and he sends a message to Duran, and it says, "Mr. Giovanni, I think of all the people in the coterie. I know that you are good at extracting information. I may need your services in the near future."
C. Alive or dead?
And then Ja just sends back a message that says, "Yes?" Question mark.
Bueno. My services are available as you require.
Great. Bring the gun.
Yes.
It's time
Since
for
our
Ja to do some
intrepid
plotting now.
since our intrepid storyteller is
Feeding the
handling
cat.
the cat alarm,
Cats, you say?
the cat alarm, I think Abigail is going to send a message to her compatriot Kevin and ask if he's figured out Jaw's phone yet. And I'm assuming that storyteller will tell me if I got a message back sooner rather than later. And then she's gonna walk upstairs
That's a bold assumption.
to she's gonna walk upstairs to that lobby area because she's been trying to find Jude all over the chantry and can't find her. And George has mentioned that he thought he saw Jude somewhere upstairs. So she's gonna go and she's gonna go up to the lobby and she elevator doors open and she's like, what exactly happened to you?
Cassandra sent me flowers. I mean, roses, kind of on the nose, but
Well, that complicates things now, doesn't it?
no. Listen, I'm gonna shut it down. Okay, I'm shutting it down. I gotta shut it down. I promise. I'll shut it down.
Abigail starts humming Lovers in a Dangerous Time under her breath and just
And Jude maybe isn't making eye contact with you when she says she's gonna shut it down.
yeah. Yeah.
Okay, well, I guess we should go get Duran then.
Probably. Storyteller, did I hear back about Jaw's phone?
What were you specifically asking about Ja's phone?
Why it was that my security measures had, or our security measures that Kevin had put in place had failed and he was able to get hacked.
Um, you get back a message that says, "This is supernatural.
Abigail sends a message back. Are we talking? What kind of supernatural exactly are we talking? Is what she sends back.
And you takes a couple of, there's a little bit of a heartbeat kind of thing, like a couple heartbeats, and you get back a message saying, "Is this a secure line?"
Abigail sends back, winky face, you put it in place. Of course it is.
That doesn't answer my question.
Yes. Abigail sends back, yes.
You get a phone call.
Hello?
Hey, Abigail.
Well, it's good to hear your voice. I wasn't expecting to hear it this evening. What can
Yeah,
what can
I
you
know.
tell me?
Well, yeah, I did set up the thing, but can you secure it from your side? You know what I mean? Like, that'd be super.
It is secure from my side. It's always secure from my side, at least as far as I know.
Come
So
on, Abigail. I know you can do the supernatural whammy super computer thing on your side.
all right, so storyteller, I'm rolling for my what's, remote access,
Mm-hmm.
which means I can now use 5 of my dice. And I get 3 successes.
Okay. You are thinking that it is secure. So, yeah, did you do the thing?
Yeah, yes, I did, Kevin. Yes.
Cool,
I
cool,
mean, if
cool,
you're
cool,
not
cool.
sure, you can always double check yourself too.
Yeah,
I mean,
but
I
I
trust
can't.
you.
I can't do what you
I
can
know,
do,
I know, I know.
and you can't do what they can do.
Who's they?
You ever hear of something called pattern spiders?
Oh, shit.
Um, well, Abigail hasn't. So, no, I don't believe I have.
Well, they're okay. You're kind of a techno mage, right?
Hmm, you could call it that.
You remember the Tremere history about how they came from mages. The mages that they came from aren't the mages that I'm talking about because they're technocracy mages.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, yeah, those guys. So, yeah.
So they have spiders that are able to,
Hmm.
but when would, if they weren't visible, they would have been able to come into contact with Jar's phone without Jar knowing it.
Hmm.
Oh, shite. All right. Um, I'll let you know what I find out. If I can find one, if I can collect one, do you want me to send you a sample? Just for your information.
Okay. Ew, but at the same time, that's really cool. Yes.
All right. If I see one, I'll try and pick up a sample to send to you so you can do some analysis.
Right.
Do you know why they would have done that?
No.
I mean,
You see, some of them kind of occasionally work with us and our kind, and you know, sometimes sometimes stuff happens with them.
is it possible they're working with the Sabbat?
Yes.
Oh, feck. All right.
Though generally, from what I've heard, the ones that work with the Sabbat are something called moralic
Oh,
ones. I don't know what those.
okay.
I don't know specifically what their name is, but it sounds it's kind of like chaos ish stuff.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Abigail's like writing this down. She knows what this is about, and she's just frustrated now. All right, Kevin, I'll send you anything I find. Thank you
Cool.
so much. I appreciate it.
Yeah, I'm really
And
looking. I'd like to look at one of those like pattern spidery things if you can get one.
well, I mean, the type of dissection that's involved would be right up your alley, wouldn't it?
Right?
All right. Thank you, Kevin. Have a good evening.
Yeah, you too. Say hi to I don't know your group of people for me.
I'll make sure to do that. Have a good night.
Yeah, yeah. Bye.
All right. So I guess Abigail and Jude are going to. Okay.
Hmm. And Mordecai is waking up in the regular way.
Like Ja, Mordecai is on edge. Did not like a lot of what the previous talk was. Likes the fact that the coteries gelling, not convinced it's going to last. So he's still arming up as though he's going to war.
Fair enough.
He does ritual katas in the morning. He does, or when he wakes. The mansion staff are on high alert, even though it's business as usual on every floor, sort of thing. He also wants to use his own means by which of tracking down thin bloods or other kindred to find out what they know. But he's going to be the social hammer as opposed to threatening to throw them off buildings.
As you do. Same kind of thing as Ja. Like there's a little bit of information that you can find out, but it's mostly like this person knows that person might know something, this person who's connected with this person over here might know something, but you're not necessarily running into dead ends. You're more running into like kind of a spider web of potential information.
Succubus Club. Oh, that place is shit. And the people that go there are equally shit. But no, he basically makes some arrangements, maybe trying to offer maybe a bit of prestation for some lower end kindred. Specifically, Mordecai is looking for some of the upper echelon, the I guess whatever they call the higher clans of the Camarilla, the Toreador, the Ventru. He's looking for some up and comers. He wants to find somebody with political aspirations.
That would take a little bit of time.
Yeah, no worries.
Time we don't necessarily have two for right now in this particular episode. So I'm assuming you're joining the caravan.
Yeah, but I'm limoing at this time.
Okay. So Duran, Ja, I guess, comes up on foot, being kind of nearby. That's the best place for buildings to kind of dip people off of. Abigail and Jude, I'm guessing, are arriving in the Gothmobile, giving no other option to.
Oh, Ja has the car parked.
I thought we were in a ride share.
Ja has his car.
Yeah, that's what I'm
Okay, yeah.
thinking. Yeah, the Gothmobile is too conspicuous
Is it though?
Probably.
at the moment.
I don't want-
Yes.
Baron Marcus just wants to talk.
Okay. Noted.
So you come up in the ride share, Jaws on foot, and then a limo pulls up.
Jude looks at Abigail. Are we trying to pile in the limo? I mean, I guess it's cheaper.
I suppose so. Abigail pays the driver.
Oh, I thought you were going elsewhere.
Well, and here's something extra because we were going to go further, but I mean,
neat. Thanks.
All right. Have a good night.
Oh yeah, you too. Have a good night.
All right. So limo then.
Yeah, yeah. So Jude will gets out of the ride chair and probably will go over to the limo and like knock on the window.
So that's a
Oh, you guys are here too. Look at that.
Yeah, can we ride in here?
Yeah, get in, whatever.
Seeing the limo and familiar figures and such, I'll head across to the limo as well.
as the
As
ride
much
share
as I
is pulled
appreciate
off.
the previous plan, I don't trust anyone.
Have you ever?
When I get into the limo, I'm going to Senior Strickland. For your Nosferatu friend, Sebastian.
Oh,
A
yes.
little micro SD card of a conversation and a little note for this Nix Adon, elder of Clan Nosferatu.
Right. I'll see to that very quickly.
Grazie.
So Jude gets in and is kind of waiting for everyone to like be in there.
Yeah, if y'all aren't paying any attention, like no one's like using heightened senses or something, Ja is creeping up silently and then just getting in the car, and he's just there.
One of these days, I'm gonna put like those vehicle mounts on the top of the limo, so Jaw can like hold on to it blade style on the outside while we're driving.
He absolutely would.
Have like
Absolutely
his
would.
black leather trench coat flapping in the breeze behind.
I think Jude, when Jaw appears, she's like, "Oh my!" Never gonna get used to that.
Super
Good
quiet.
evening. Good evening, Mr. John. Good evening,
Hey.
Mr. Mordecai and Mr. Giovanni.
Good evening, Sundown Appreciation League and the book club.
Did everyone read the
How
book?
are we all this evening? Have we all read the book for this evening?
I have questions about chapter 3.
Well, I mean, chapter 3 is when the protomolecule starts coming into play.
Yeah.
Oh no, not that.
I'm waiting for chapter 5 when the real protagonist is revealed, and you find out a secondary character was actually the primary character all along, the daughter of some prince or something.
Yeah,
And
I
Ja's
like
just
that.
like,
Or
what's with all the
perhaps
flowers? What was
Wait.
that about? They're just
flowers.
Which book are you reading? Duran,
I'm not
just to
sure,
make
but
sure.
suddenly it
Flowers
became a
in
lot
the
less
attic, DC
interesting.
Andrews.
Flowers.
Flowers in the attic?
Jude, flowers.
I was reading Tusktooth. I don't know what the rest of you are reading.
I was reading The Expanse.
Really?
Are we not reading the same book?
I was reading Chew the comic book, so I don't know.
Okay.
I'm not
Apparently
sure.
we are not.
Okay,
I'm
so the
reading
flowers.
The Etiquette of the Modern Gentleman.
Okay,
Flowers.
so the flowers, and
Hey,
Jude is definitely
What
like
flowers? It wasn't me.
no
Flowers for
I know.
Algernon.
That's what I said.
Oh.
Yeah. And Jude's almost like happy for that Abigail kind of like threw in another reference to further delay her having to explain this. Yeah, so Cassandra sent me roses to the Chantry.
I'm sorry, what?
Oh.
You heard me?
Apparently, our Jude has an admirer.
You young ones. Okay, I will say only this. If she breaks your heart, it will not go well for her.
Look, I understand that it's not a good idea. Like I understand that. Like it just sucks because we did like get along and she seemed cool, but she also lied to me. So
Is this really a case of liking you, or is this just another Toreador game?
What do you believe the intention to be?
I think she likes me romantic styles.
She's Cassandra. She likes everyone romantic style.
I hope not.
Damn, really? Shit. Okay.
She's a Toreador.
Well,
she has a, I don't want to say reputation because that would be me being catty,
Okay, so I don't know. I mean, I truly just thought that we had hit it off the other night, and
This
she
was
doesn't know
on the
anything.
dance floor.
Yeah, we danced together. It was nothing weird. It was just dancing and talking. That's it.
Okay, as the I guess the one present who's probably the leading expert on romance. Take that for what you will. There's a couple of things at play here. One, they are in a lot of trouble. Two, they may or may not have the purest of intentions of having invited you in the first place. So keep that in mind. There might still be manipulation at play. Three, if her feelings are genuine, she is risking a lot by doing this in probable blatant opposition to her compatriots, either in her Camarilla coterie,
Wait,
or her Sabat coterie.
but here's the thing, Mr. Mordecai. They don't know that we are opposed to them. They think everything's hunky-dory, that Jude is coming to us and that everything is going to be fine if Jude just explains it to us. So should we even tell them otherwise?
We had information on them. There is no reason to suspect that they don't have information on us.
Duran, what's up?
I'm not. That's not what I'm saying, though.
Two things. One, she might just wish to add you to her polycule, which I do not completely understand, but it is a thing the kids say, so I thought I would sound hip by saying it. Two, we did not hear any concrete plans from them, but it has been a day or two. You have had time to come to us. They're going to expect an answer back. I would suggest that you text. I would guess Harley is your point of contact, whoever your point of contact is, and basically say, the coterie is in, what would you like us to do? Let us see if they actually have a plan or have an idea for something for us to do. That will tell us a lot about their intent. If they say, go guard Victoria Island, we'll know, oh, you want us out of the way because you think we're dumb. Okay, that's not happening. If they tell us, get together with these clans and do something, maybe they are trying to do something. Benefit of the doubt time. I don't think we'll go there. If they give us weird, stupid instructions, we can ignore them as we see fit, but we will have an idea of where their mindset is. So I definitely think just a very simple communication of the coterie is in, what would you like us to do? Or what are your instructions? And let's see what they come up with.
I can text Harley, that's fine. But just to circle back. So in terms of the Cassandra,
flowers,
I was just gonna I mean, I just got them. I didn't expect this, like literally I didn't so I just think I'm just gonna do nothing, just saying nothing about that and just let it go.
it will be interesting to see if she walks away from it and goes and pays attention to someone else, or if she scales up. You could get some very interesting loot this way.
Storyteller, can I pause for a second?
Sure.
The what I want to use, because it's my Sedite thing, and it's ironically a coterie thing, can I extract information from Jude? And would that be a PvP and offensive against?
Sara?
I'm probably fine with it. I don't know the power that you're referencing, I guess. I don't know what the method of
coterie power that allows basically me to extract a surface or a thing.
I think that's generally NPCs, though.
Yeah, that is true. All right.
I think that's why the question is being asked, though.
Yeah, fair enough.
Nope, that's fair.
Okay. All right, cool. No worries.
I'll get it out of you normally.
I'm sure it won't be that hard.
I don't need to cheese my way through.
No, you don't. You got this. Cool. So yeah, Jude kind of just was like, clearly hemming and hawing a bit, just kind of like, yeah, I'm not gonna do anything for now, but I will text Harley and yeah, I'll text him what you said, and I guess we'll see what happens.
See.
And okay, off to the park.
The more Jude is sort of hedging and hemming and
Yeah.
hawing sort of thing, the more Mordecai sort of leans in a bit more and a bit more. And just for theatrics, no actual power in play sort of thing, he actually flicks his eyes to Eyes of the Serpent briefly. So you see just the briefest glint of the slit pupil, and then it goes back to normal. How do you feel about her, June? Because
Look,
we've all talked about how she feels and how the coteries might be manipulating. How do you feel about her?
it's one of those things where, you have a crush and you can't stop thinking about them, and they just invade every scenario in your mind. But those things are able to be controlled, okay? Especially now more than ever, when, as Duran says, the hormones are no longer in play here. So it's just it's one of those things. I'll get over it. It will die. The less attention that I pay to it, the sooner that it will hopefully go away.
But do you want it to die?
I mean, does it matter? That's not good for this
Yes,
coterie.
absolutely matters.
It's not
We're going to
good.
live for the
I
rest
know
of
that.
time immemorial. Of course it matters. If you can find someone to spend a tremendous amount of time with and that you gel with, no one I think would ever stand in the way of that. So
I mean, it is a bit of a Romeo and Juliet situation.
See,
And
there
they
are
both
some
die at the
comparisons
end.
there.
Star-crossed lovers in Fair Verona, where we set our scene? No.
And Jude, I think, is now kind of leaning in and staring right back at Mordecai, despite the lizard eye moment. And she says, you don't care about how I feel about her. You only care about how my feelings might affect your future.
Of course I actually care. You'd be surprised at what I care about. And the blossoming fragrance of new love, innocence.
It's not love. It's not love.
You just said yourself it's the crush. So here's what you do.
That's infatuation. That's limerence. That's
Sure,
not love.
Sure. That's great. If it's returned, so much the better. Here's what you do. You send her a note, a couple of heart emojis, just to see, and just basically sort of lead it into a when can I see you again? If you want to see her again, obviously. If you don't want to see her again, well then yeah, don't do anything. That's fine. Whatever. It's a crush. You'll get over it. But if you do, then we find a way.
And Jude leans back then and sort of like kind of straightens her jacket, which is the same one that she wore that night to see the adjacent coterie that Duran gave her. It's almost like I feel like she feels like it's a bit of an armor now when she's going out to do this work. I think she's kind of fond of it. So she just straightens her jacket and leans back. She's like, I will take that under advisement. Thank you. Let's go to the park now.
As I had
I'm
said,
if
she breaks your heart, I will have issues with her, because you moping about with a broken heart will negatively impact your effectiveness for this coterie, and currently we cannot have that going on. So
sure.
whatever
will find us depressing.
Whatever you wish to do with this, Jude, I will fully support, whether I understand it or not, just as long as it does not get messy. If it gets messy, it will need to be cleaned up one way or another. But see, Hastings Park, we should be underway.
Yeah, you're underway. This whole conversation's happening as the limo is in transit.
Well, a moment.
Mercy and I are on a wavelength. It's amazing.
I'm calling Senior Johnson's number.
God's just over here looking at the whole group like, what the fuck is happening? We're
Hello?
like risking our lives, and now we're like talking about kindred romance with the Toreador at that.
Oh, they're the best.
Abigail's just sitting here
No.
humming Forever Young under her
And I
breath.
think I think the thing with Ja is like he knows how the Banu Hakim got into the Camarilla, so this feels even weirder to him.
Missed opportunity to start humming "Who Wants to Live Forever" by Queen. So
Playlist incoming.
yeah,
Nice.
the Cassandra Jude romance playlist.
Well, it's happening now, and you can't
Yep.
stop me. So sorry.
Bad romance. Then she starts humming under her
yeah.
breath.
Yeah. Nice.
That's good. That's really
Tainted
yes.
Love. Come on.
Oh,
Oh no, but no, bad romance. I'm feeling though. That's
Nothing
I
lasts
feel that.
forever. Maroon 5.
I mean,
Okay.
we've got a DJ here, so all right, Cliff. What Duran?
Dialing Senior Johnson.
Yeah. You hear the several rings, and then hello.
Duran Giovanni for Senior Johnson, please.
Mr. Giovanni.
Senior Johnson. I have just a very quick question. First of all, we got the earpieces and they work wonderfully. Thank you very much. Grazie,
Excellent,
grazie,
excellent.
grazie. I'm looking forward to the next shipment. Two quick questions that came to mind after our meeting.
Okay.
One, can your people arrange a cell phone blackout for 48 hours through Vancouver?
For all of Vancouver?
So, as much as possible, downtown at least.
That's a bit of a tough sell, but we
I get it
should be
down
able to do it.
Bien. The second one is at the same time, could you take down all kindred online communications, this ShrekNet thing? You talked about the fact that you kind of built it. What we're thinking is when the Sabbat finally make their move, I want to disrupt communications very, very badly for them.
Okay. Yes, yes.
So I'm thinking a quick phone call, and if you would be so kind, do it now. And for 48 hours, they will have a hard time coordinating. Whereas we, hopefully, with the headsets and such, will still be able to coordinate. And of course, you and your people will be able to work freely. I have no doubt.
Understandable, understandable. It's going to take some arm twisting of the higher ups in my particular
I thought I would ask.
umbrella, I guess would be the best way of putting it, I suppose.
I see. Excellent. I thought I would ask whether it was a yes or a no. A yes is always preferred, but even a no is an understanding.
It is possible. It will just take some doing and some political favors, I guess would be your way of putting things.
Allow me to offer a favor in return. In the next 24 hours or so, there's going to be a run on stock on Charlotte Industries. We're going to pump and dump, so it would be an excellent time to get on it. They've got some excellent real estate.
All right, all right. When will the dump particulars be occurring? So
12 days.
we can make sure that we're out in that particular amount of time.
12 days. I'll make sure I get a 24-hour notice so I can drop you a quick note.
Excellent. Well, now that I know that it's 12 days, probably wait until about, 3 or 4 days after the stock price starts going up. It's always best to be kind of frugal about these sorts of things.
Oh, indeed, because you can always try, but the stock market sometimes has a mind of its own and does not always behave the way you would like it to.
Indeed.
So this is a little inside tip that this is an attempt.
Insider trading. That's
well, I wouldn't call it that where the NSA could hear, but I would expect that talking with you on the phone,
can't hear
no one is hearing. See, that is what I thought. That is what I thought. Wonderful. It is always a pleasure conversing with you. I look forward to the next deliveries. Have yourself a wonderful evening, Senor Johnson.
And you as well, Mr. Giovanni.
Good night.
Good night.
And there's a little more plan in the bag.
And did we hear all Duran's side of the conversation?
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Have I? Okay. Mr. Duran, I can help with that cell phone blackout. I do have the ability
Ah,
to. It's much easier to destroy things than it is to create things, shall we just say? And
see,
that is something that I can definitely do.
see.
If we hit a few cell phone towers, I, in combination with your lupine friends, should be able to take care of this. Of
Yeah,
course,
nay,
it will take a
I
really long time for them to actually get back online, but you know.
well, it is a war. There will be a little bit of loss. I would like to minimize it, but you understand. With the five of us with these headsets, we could even each join a different group and coordinate that way. One with the anarchs, one with the et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. The important thing is we will still have communication and they will not.
I wonder what the Nosferatu will feel.
Oh, I really don't care.
Oh, I'm relishing
Honestly,
fear. And their precious
honestly,
Shrek net goes down.
it went down once before, from what I understand, and it's probably gone down. Their information network gets kicked periodically in different places. It always has. From the historically, they are excellent at what they do, but there are always issues, and there are always others that are excellent at what can be done. So um, I'm sure it will put them on the back here. They will probably drop to message drops and their usual way of chittering and chattering and passing information. It will just slow them down. What I'm looking at is slowing down the Sabat the most. And I have no doubt that there are Nosferatu within the Sabat ranks as well. And I imagine they share parts of this Shrek net with the non Sabat Nosferatu. So, if you want to, burning the house to rid it of rats is a final option, but sometimes one needs to take the final option.
Right. There's one thing that I'm pretty sure you should know, all of you.
Mhm.
So I heard back from my friend Kevin. I had sent Jar's old phone. Remembered the night of the Sula Rose, where Jar's phone was basically hacked, despite all my precautions and Kevin's precautions for that matter. Well, I sent the phone to him because obviously we need to know how to protect ourselves against things like that happening. Well, it seems that it's not as quite as simple as all that. Our protections may have been in place and fairly heavy, but he's saying that what did that was called a pattern spider. Have any of you heard of that?
Wait, like the spider that I saw on Charlie when I went to see the other coterie? Is it
Yes.
that?
Yes, they are from the technocracy, apparently. A special, a potentially special band of the technocracy. And given that they were doing things when Jar had been conversing with his with some Banu Hakim, it's entirely possible that these are technocracy that are working with the Sabbat.
Well,
If
fair
there
is
are,
fair. We are trying to work with shape changers and mage
but
users and stuff. So
that's the thing. Um, Jude and I have the ability to see things that are not there, like those spiders. So if we see them crawling up to any of our devices or anything like that, because those spiders not only able to spy but are able to extract information. So if they're able to extract anything, um, now I mean, Jar's phone head was very compartmentalized, and it is my assessment that they wouldn't have been able to get much from it, but these spiders can be a way for those Nosferatu who are
Oh, they
aligned with the
probably found
Sabbat.
out all about all the memes I like, though.
Ah, well, though I mean, there's a kind of
is
fluff,
there
and
a way to affect these spider things? You
well,
can
that's what
see
I'd
them.
like.
Can you touch them?
I haven't tried. I haven't seen them myself. Jude has. Um, but if we send a sample to my friend, he will be able to analyze and see what his weaknesses are, things like that. A dissection, so to speak. Um, But my worry is that even if we shut out all the communications, if these spiders are able to communicate with each other and possibly with devices that aren't on the network, then we might be.
We do what we can do, and we hope for the best. We take down the communications, and if it affects them only a little, then it affects them only a little.
Oh, we just need to be on our guard. If there's anything that any of your clans have that would potentially allow you to see things that aren't there or anything like that, I would encourage each of you to learn them because it might be helpful.
Do you know someone? Never mind. That's probably not wise.
There's a lot of things that aren't wise.
No, I am not taking blood offerings from my coterie to pick up new disciplines.
I wouldn't ask you to. I'm
Yes,
simply
but
saying that
that's
if
what I
it's.
thought of.
I mean, Mordecai
Fair.
already like snacked on my blood, so
Yeah, that's true.
I mean,
I'm just
yes,
saying.
technically.
So you need something from me.
Weirdly, I
No,
didn't feel
I'm
anything.
good.
How about you'll just watch my back?
Oh,
Done.
that is a given. That is a given. Your back will be watched.
When you see one of these spiders next, let me know, because I would like to find out if a certain party can also see them, because if they can, that would be very advantageous.
Indeed.
And I would finally have a use for the young boy rather than just telling him how to run around the Wraithlands and not get turned into a coin.
Oh, which
Wait,
young boy?
what? Yeah, what?
I'm a Giovanni. We talk with the spirits of the
Oh,
dead.
yeah,
oh,
yeah.
you have-
right,
Oh,
like a
okay.
ghost.
See,
I didn't
see,
put that together.
I have a few up my sleeve.
Ah,
They're very
Yeah, I
small.
forget
They fit
that.
in there very well. So, see,
Well,
I've been working with a fledgling of late in learning what he can and cannot do, and I would like to be able to find out if he can see these spider things, because if he can, that is an advantage to us.
Ooh, how did he die?
Small accident.
Sucks.
That's
Wrong
morbid.
place at the wrong time.
See, fortunately, I was at the right place at the wrong time in order to, scoop his name and the information I need to introduce myself to his shade.
Gotcha. Well, now that I know the spiders, especially since Abigail told us like all that stuff, I'm definitely on the lookout now. So everywhere we go, I'll be,
Bueno.
looking beyond to see what's going on, and you'll be the first to know.
Have we seen? I guess we haven't seen. We wouldn't have noticed any of these things beforehand. None of you.
I haven't seen any up until this point, and Jude's the only one that has. I've only been told by Kevin that this is what would have affected this in this kind of way. So I think he's seen them, but
Why us?
that's never sample. Why us what?
Why would these spiders come after us? Why me?
Well, you were having, I think, a conversation with your brethren, were you not?
Yes, but
Perhaps it was in some way associated with that. I'm not saying that it is in any way your fault. I'm saying that perhaps there was some sort of a.
Senora Jude has also said she saw one on Charlie's shoulder, and Cassandra talked about them. So they are obviously all over the Primogen as well.
so maybe they're like roaches, and Jude brought them home and then shared them
have.
with us.
Wait, what? No
bed
way.
Bugs. Bed the bugs.
Nuh-uh.
I
I didn't do that.
was thinking a different kind
you
of
go,
bug, but okay.
you go hang out with another
Mordecai.
coterie, and you bring back a supernatural transmittable infection, an STI.
All right, listen.
That's the one.
Let me sense the unseen right now.
You know the
Just do.
rule.
Since
Okay.
Cassandra Cooties on you.
Yeah, out of character, I already rolled it. I only got 2
Yeah, if
successes,
she
but
already
Yes.
gave you some kind of weird, I'm just,
Nah. All right, only two for me as well.
2 and 2. There's doesn't seem to be anything like you can see the pale orders of your compatriots, and there's a human aura that is in the driver's seat that you can see, but you don't see any like spider creature things, any mechanical spiders or anything along those lines.
I mean,
We have to be
hang on.
very aware of these supernaturally transmitted infections. You don't
That's
want
not
to
a
be
thing,
catching.
Duran.
Yes, it is.
It's not a thing,
It
Duran.
is a thing now.
There was a
No,
blood
it's
plague.
not.
that
There
is
was a
now
blood
a
plague.
thing.
There was a blood plague.
You gotta
Just
make fun
saying.
of me for wanting a date. You guys are nasty.
How does this happen? Oh, okay, never mind.
Okay, so what do we need to know? What is the plan for when we go into the park?
We're going to see if we can find some gangrel.
Right.
They, as I
And-
understand, in Canada, they tend to wear plaid.
Isn't that
Oh
the same
man, I should have
everywhere?
worn mine. I didn't even think about it.
And are we going to try and talk to them about keeping the changelings little whatever
I'm
this is?
thinking we
safe?
should be a little more circumspect. Ask them how secure they feel the park is. Do they have any issues with the park that we could help with from within the city?
About the
Let them
Sabbat?
discuss with them about the Sabbat. Are they prepared to handle the Sabbat, or are they just going to go to ground? Can we count on their support?
I just want to
Oh.
know if they eat rats or mountain lions.
I don't think that's very nice.
Well, they could possibly eat cougars. Apparently, those are popular around Stanley Park.
It's popular around downtown too.
Oh, but do we know if the gangrel are like are they anarchs or like Camarilla or what's going on with them? What's their do we know that?
Storyteller, did we get an association?
In general, the gangrel have left the Camarilla.
Indeed.
I mean, that's my out of character understanding, but I just
Oh yeah,
I didn't know if we got that
you'd
information.
you'd probably know that like in game as well. Like it was kind of a big deal.
Okay. So probably anarchs then, I guess.
I do not
You don't
know
think they could
anarchs
be
as much as independent. I do not. I think the biggest thing with the gangrel is that they do not operate so much as a clan as individuals, and they each make their own choices in their small groups and family gathers.
Okay.
So I kind of anarchs, but without the baron position. They are extremely migratory, as I remember. They are nomadic. They travel a lot. They settle for a while and then continue on. My family has had some dealings with the gangrel of Europe, not, I would say, an extensive amount, but they do make wonderful messengers because they do travel so much and are known in so many places.
And it's at that point that you pull up to the outskirts of the park, and I'm going to have us have a little bit of a break right here. So, go hydrate, grab some water, grab some snacks. It's going to be a bit of an exciting second half, as you can see
Oh,
from
goody.
the plaid. And we will see you in about 7 minutes. And welcome back, everybody. We are appearing at the park, and I'm going to drop the link to the park in our chat here
Good
for
evening at the park.
the Zoom chat, so as you can see what I see, where things are and whatnot. So you would be coming up on probably McGill Street would probably be your best route to go. Actually, no, Hastings. East Hastings would be the way you would go to get to this particular park. So that is along the south side of the park. Would you be pulling into the park at all? That's my question.
Probably Mordecai's call now.
Mhm.
Yeah. Your ghoul's
The
driving.
outside, probably.
Sorry, what again?
There's probably parking lots.
Yes.
Yeah.
So let's just call this one around the Hastings Park Farmers Market-ish area. So you pull up and the divider between the two goes down, and Mercy leans, kind of puts her head back, kind of goes, "We have arrived."
You're a doll.
Jenny. I'm exiting the limo.
Same.
Yes.
Usually
Yeah,
I'm gonna
that's
sit in the limo in a park.
Where would you be going from this particular point?
Pond. Yeah. Isn't that the
Yeah. The
I
pond,
believe so,
that's
yeah.
the source of water that the changelings talked about.
Gee, let's just go
Estuary
to the
pond,
pond
right?
then.
Not the merry-go-round.
So the pond.
Actually, they didn't say anything about the pond with Hastings Park.
When
They
there's
did
only
not.
one
Hastings
water
Park
source.
was the PNE grounds. It was
Oh.
Trout Lake that is the water source that
Correct.
you're thinking of.
I
And
had
the
made
swimming
at some
pool.
point
So two waters and a PNE. I don't know where are the fairgrounds here.
The fairgrounds from where you are It's pretty much a bunch of fairgrounds. It would be to the east of where you are.
Yeah, that's what it looks like. All east of us.
See, well, let us walk that way.
And there is a sanctuary pond, but it is, for some reason on the map I'm looking at, completely blacked out. There's no blue in this pond.
That's why they want it.
It's a Pentex pond right there.
Pretty.
Do we have to re-roll Sense the Unseen?
I'll allow it to be the same scene. Yeah. Unless you want to go fishing for more successes in the roll itself.
Yeah, I'm gonna not only go fishing, but I'm going to rouse my resolve.
Probably a good idea.
My hunger is looking pretty scary, so I'm.
Oh
gonna
yeah,
just go
so's
ahead and
mine. I'm
not-
at 3 now. That
But
was
I'm
a
going to rouse.
fail.
So
this
wait,
is
are you
gonna
at
get
4?
interesting.
I have a cat retest.
Storyteller, I am rousing potence
Okay.
and strength.
You know the rolls.
I did. 10 and an 8.
That's disappointing.
So I roused and I have 4 successes, and I failed on my rousing, obviously.
Abigail?
Oh god.
Shh, Winston, we're in a park. We're
What?
trying to be very, very, very quiet.
Why are we going through a park? Isn't this
Shh.
where Wolfie territory?
No, this isn't the same park. Shh, Winston, it's okay.
Are you
I'll
sure?
eat. Yes, I'll eat. I'm sure.
Those
I'm
werewolves,
sure
there were
once-
some
Shh.
fighters in the war. Glad they were on our side.
All right, Winston. Quiet. I'll eat.
And eat something.
Well, yes. Shh. Trying to be very, very quiet.
So, how many successes are we looking at?
4.
Sarah, did you reroll?
I guess I don't have anything to lose by just rerolling again without a rouse.
Successes?
Assuming
but
I don't
sure.
get a messy critical or a failure, I guess.
Yes.
Okay, I did get 3.
Okay. Abigail, how many did you roll for successes?
4.
4. So you close your eyes and you both reopen them, and the park itself seems more. How can I put this? It seems more lively than if you were to do this in another park. It seems like the colors kind of snap out a bit more. Like the greens seem a bit more greens. It seems like the street light, the kind of like dull, kind of yellowish light that you would see from street lamps. It doesn't seem to be kind of light pollution penetrating this particular park as much as it usually would.
Nothing out of the ordinary. No nos. No.
There doesn't seem to be.
Spiders.
Nope.
Little magey spiders. No. Okay.
There are no pattern spiders.
I also did a very similar thing to Mordecai and rouse for potence and for my dexterity, and I got a success and a failure. So I did get a little hungrier.
Hey, we should eat someone. We've been talking back here, and we all think you should definitely eat somebody.
Provided things go the way I hope, we probably
Man, why you gotta
will.
be like that? You got a smorgasbord walking
No.
around you right now.
But we can't get anything great from them. The gangrel has some particular strengths that they could offer us.
Do you really want to eat gangrel though?
Absolutely not. They're
Isn't that kind
probably
of like
gross.
eating free range, like vegan type stuff? Like, oh, it's non-GMO.
Probably tastes like grass and lavender.
Yeah.
But,
Kale.
ew, kale. Yeah, maybe kale. Quinoa. No, it's not really what I'm looking for.
I mean,
But
you could probably just go to that like Whole Foods place, get yourself some asparagus sticks, and gnaw on those for a while.
you know what? You all are very useful, to be honest with you.
So you're making your way to the eastern part of the park. Give me a wits and awareness roll from everyone.
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 Wits and awareness. Do.
3
I've got
successes for
3.
me. Yeah.
I'm going to blow some willpower. You can go ahead and do that there.
Take care of that bestial failure.
Still the same rolls. I got 2 successes.
I doubled up and got 2 successes at the cost of a willpower.
I mean, I suppose that's doubling up.
Yeah, because first time around I only had 1.
Oh, shit, I have to make my rolls.
And we're looking for 6s.
6 and above, yes.
Okay, so 3.
Can you tell which one of us isn't using the official dice? Dice tray, come here. Ooh. Ooh. Ooh, ooh. How many successes? 2 for Duran, 2 for Abigail, 3 and 3 for the Tremere, 3 for Mordecai. Okay, 3, 3, 3, and double twos.
Full house.
I suppose, yeah. Yeah, I guess that would be a full house.
Yep.
Kind of a weak full house.
Hey,
Yep.
it still beats
Still
2
beats a
pair.
Still a
straight,
full
yeah.
house.
3 and 2s.
Yeah.
So you're walking along, and there's the odd thing here and there catches your kind of peripheral visions. For the 3s, for the 2s, you're if somebody was to point it out, you'd be like, oh yeah, that is kind of weird. But it's just sort of like, and an odd moving bush here or there. Are any of you going to be doing anything about that?
Yes. Uh Jude quietly will look at everybody and be like, there's definitely something or someone sneaking around for sure. Not someone that Abigail or I could have seen, but something else. Don't know what though. So everybody be on your guard. Extra.
Well, we can pretend that we don't see them.
Yeah.
If there's anything
Keep
that you
walking.
can assure, I will be extra.
Yeah, can always count on
You're
me for
always
that.
extra.
Yeah, so I think Abigail has the right idea. Just ignore it for now or pretend to.
Heightened senses up. Sight, hearing, smell, everything. And I got 4 successes.
You kind of detect that there's a hint of something that you haven't smelled in a long time, which is kind of an earthy smell, kind of like a something that's like, like freshly dug dirt type thing. You really haven't smelled that in a while, like, but it's not like kind of graveyardish freshly dug dirt
Mm-hmm.
where all the nutrients have already kind of been taken out of it. This seems like kind of like a rich kind of like a farmer's dirt. I can't believe I'm describing this.
There is a horse track nearby, so
Do I hear anything from the bushes that
You hear
besides rustling?
nothing from the bushes, not even the rustling.
Mm,
It's
okay.
more of a kind of see it out of the corner of your eye type thing. But when you were to look, you wouldn't see anything moving or any sound coming from those areas.
Mm-hmm.
So you all come up to the playland area, and there's kind of a well-worn path. There's like a little bit of a concrete path that would go that way. And I'll get another wits and awareness from everybody. Duran, since you have heightened senses up, add 2 dice to it.
Oh, grazie.
Three again.
3 again.
Yeah, 3 again for me too.
I got 3, but 2 of them were 10s, so 5.
Remember to substitute all the hunger dice where you need to, just in case we end up with bestial failures.
Hunger die was a success, but not a beast.
So many dice, and I got 2 successes.
That's one of those things that I think I do that very few other DMs or GMs do. It's that if you roll 2 crits on your regular dice and then a crit on your hunger dice, that is not bestial. That is just a regular crit.
Yeah, that's a regular crit to me.
Yeah, because it doesn't make sense otherwise. 'Cause it's like I won, but I
won, but I lost.
didn't win, kind of. So you come
Perfect.
closer. So it was 5. Duran got 2. Jude 3 and 3, and Ja got what's
What I do?
awareness.
Oh, another one? My bad.
Yeah, I was going to give it another one.
I can't re-roll because I cannot risk the messy crit right now.
2 successes.
2 successes. Okay, so Mordecai would be the first person to kind of catch on to this. The Playland amusement park, it's got like rides and games, like the dart throwing, pop the balloon type thing. Everything is shuttered at the moment. There's like a merry-go-round that's not active. A wooden roller coaster is there as well. And Mordecai notices first, but eventually everyone else does as well, that there are people at this amusement park that aren't normal people because everyone else seems to be not here. This seems to be closed for the season, but there's like outside of your ability to reach, but there are people that kind of move in as soon as you move away from the kind of forested area, and they are a fair chunk away from you.
They're coming towards us.
They're keeping their distance. They're on either side of you, and they kind of are moving. Kind of, they will eventually come into you. There's about 2 on the right and 3 on the left.
And is this?
We're being
Do I
flanked.
need? Would I need to roll Sense the Unseen again to check these people out?
No, unless you want to
Okay.
unless you want to try for more successes.
No, it's still the. I think I got 2 on my initial roll for
Okay.
prospects.
Abigail, same. When you look at these particular people, they have pale auras, which to you
Okay.
denotes a vampire.
Right. So Jude will look
Sorry.
at Abigail and be like, okay, so are these maybe the
Might be the
gangrel?
gangrel. They might be the gangrel we're looking for.
Okay, so Mordecai is going to be. So try to imagine yourself in the Cretaceous period. You get your first look at this 6-foot turkey. He moves like a bird. You keep still because think maybe his visual acuity is based on movement. He'll lose you if you don't move, but no, not the gangrel.
Mordecai, are you quoting Jurassic Park again?
I think it fits. We're being stalked.
I would say
that's what that was.
when we get back to the limo, Mordecai, you should sit in the corner and think about what you just did.
And something happens.
Port of Valor.
Oh, something happens.
Something happens, and I'm going to roll a lot of dice for it.
No.
Oh no. I'm
Oh, fuck.
Like a lot of dice.
Abigail says, "Oh fuck," in character, and out of character, I'm just wondering, should my next character be a Ventru or maybe a Salubri?
Not quite so bad.
oh, Salubri.
No, I banned salubrious. There's only 7 of
Oh,
them in my
we should all when we all
Aw.
die, we
Ugh,
should all do
salubri.
Ventru, and then this way when we bring Charlotte over here, we can have a
It's
coterie of
perfect.
your Ventru to
All
run
Ventru, yeah.
Vancouver.
So this kind of takes everyone by surprise. And someone dressed kind of like I am, without the glasses, pops up in front of Mordecai, grabs him by the scruff, and pulls him in real close and says, "That's not as funny as you think it is."
It was actually meant as respect.
And he lets you go.
Ladies and gentlemen,
Hello.
Mordecai,
Well
I
met.
guess unlife finds a way.
see, that wasn't me. But he beat me by like 1 second.
Hello.
I believe you have met before, Abigail. This is Bo and Rico,
Oh shit.
Gangrel Sheriff.
Yeah, well, that's what I thought.
Hello.
The closest thing we
Mr.
have to a
Rico.
prince right now.
Hello, Sheriff. Is there anything that we're doing wrong?
Why are
You
you
seem to be
here?
flanking us on both sides.
Well,
We just wanted to talk to you.
you're a group of kindred walking into my territory.
But you know us. Come on.
I know one of you.
Well, yes, but we did such good work with you, or for you, through your deputy. I hope that counts for something.
See, Virginia Slims.
So she said. What do you
Why
want?
Well, why don't I let Duran here? By the way, this is Duran. You probably already know that, so that's the only reason I'm saying this, Mr. Duran. Why does he explain to you what it is that
That is okay. People
looking
can
for?
know who I am. See, Virginia Slims had said you had burnt the clothing that I had sent you as a gift, which I apologize. Next time, perhaps you will stop by the store and I can discuss what you like, though obviously it is plaid. We were told on good authority that there were gangrel in this park by the shapeshifters. And there is, as I am told, you are the sheriff, and it is a great pleasure to meet you. As you are probably aware, there are Sabbat gathering to kick Vancouver to the knees and then take off its head, I would expect, like Sabbat like to do.
I am
So we are
aware.
coming. We're coming looking for alliances, coordination. When they start their big push, we want to be able to push back and shove them right into the Pacific Ocean. See if they can swim.
The prince has been made aware and is preparing.
We would like to offer our services. We already have alliances with several groups of people, and would like to bring them to flesh out the army, so to speak.
Which groups?
We have made deals with anarchs under a Baron Vincent. We have a couple of but the body is a body, and even if Vincent, it's only Vincent and his number one compatriot who shop, that is 2 more bodies to throw at the Sabbat. So you can chuckle, but bodies are bodies. I mean, they'll still account for shovelheads. We also have a connection to some downtown city shapeshifters, some werewolves who seem to prefer doing business in suits rather than business in jeans and lumberjack shirts.
Oh.
It is a tenuous connection alliance, but it is still an alliance. We are assisting each other.
Yeah, I figured
being fairly costly.
Figured Magni wouldn't be dealing.
Oh no, we're not going to disturb him, but if we can like point Sabat in that direction into Stanley Park, we can pretty much just say, go there, see you later, and we can focus on people who are not so dumb.
How fast can you run, Mr. Giovanni?
Oh, as long as I run faster than the Sabat, that's all I care about, and I can kneecap them and slow them down enough that I can just keep out in front that little bit. Magni can play with them all he wants. Who else do we have?
Bad idea, actually.
We've got a few connections within the human magic users. Again, not huge numbers and not massively strong connections, but a few. We have been dealing with the Primogen of the city. I've been talking to some of the Ventru of the city. We have been looking to. There seems to be a lot of fracturing between the clans. You talk to the Nosferatu, and you talk to only the Nosferatu. You talk to the what was the other group that we talked to besides the Nosferatu? Because we have spoken with them. Everybody seems to be, oh, we're on board if everybody else is on board. So far, everybody is on board if everybody is on board, and everybody seems to be on board. So
yeah,
I'm hoping the day of the game, they don't all go, looks like rain, gonna stay home.
This does rain a lot. Like the last time. Well, many of them will be last minute, and they'll be shark food.
See, so we are coming to
Mr. Sheriff.
We are coming to see about an alliance with the gangrel of this park, if we can count on you. And this is your domain here. What makes this place special beyond this is where you have planted your flag?
I like it.
That's a good answer.
Did you ever ride the roller coaster?
No.
And this Señorico is Senora Jude, who is actually, young. Believe it or not, one of our best. Young, but has much promise.
Hi. Nice to meet you, Sheriff.
Why are you saluting?
I don't know. I just do what the mood strikes me. So no roller coaster then?
No.
Fair enough.
No. And the rest of you, Abigail, I've met in the past. It's good to see you're not dead.
And I try. This is Mr. Cato. He is a master swordsmith and
so I've heard.
Swordsman. He is quite good at what he does. He's an asset to any group.
Even though what he does isn't very nice, from what I've heard.
Well, sometimes
we're freaking vampires. Nice. Being nice?
One would think
that's not in the handbook.
With Wolverine.
It's the plaid.
It's the plaid.
And then we have our social monster, one could say, the coordinator of influences, Senor Strickland, the operator of a palace of earthly delights for many humans, which allows him to drip words into ears here and there. Excellently important for covering the Masquerade, which again, if the Sabbat are coming, is going to be requiring some coordination.
It's useful. Necessary evil.
See,
that's actually my middle name.
I guess the question is, Sheriff, can we count on the gangrel of this park to help fight this incursion?
You can always count on the gangrel to fight.
Well, That's good to know.
We're just trying
I
to be
guess
organized, you know, like we're just trying to make sure everybody is
Well
like
played, sir.
on the same page.
Sheriff, how much do you know about the current goings on with the Sabbat in the city?
I know that the Sabbat are in the city, and that's all I need to know.
You haven't.
Apparently, much like rats, they are mostly infesting the sewers currently. If we had mustard gas, I know it's very World War One, but I mean, you could pump it into the sewers, it would settle down and possibly irritate some of them.
Huh. If only we could get some of that SI gas.
Would you really want that?
If it's as Mr. Duran Giovanni says, then if you pump it into the sewers, it becomes less and less my concern.
I mean,
See,
I do
eventually they'll come up.
I do have one question, Sheriff. Apparently, the building downtown that blew up not too long ago was blown up on your orders. Is that correct?
It was.
And was there a particular trigger for that?
There was Sabbat in the building,
Oh, did you kill them all?
as far as I know.
As we understand, you didn't get all of them.
Oh.
That's where there's now in the sewers. There is one associated with, or at least this is the information we are operating on.
So what is your plan?
We're mostly getting people together and coordinating them, and a large part of me hopes that someone like yourself of Camarilla position would actually be a general and lead this army we're putting together. I don't
Especially
know
considering
that I'm good at leading myself. I'm good at bringing people together. I expect to just climb up to the top of a tall building with a sniper rifle and put 50 caliber bullets into obvious Sabbat members when they finally stick their heads up.
One would assume that if you're organizing a bunch of people that you would have some sort of a plan.
Kill the Sabbat is about as far as we've gotten.
That's pretty much as far as my plan's going as well.
I like that we are on the same page.
We have yet to be able to meet the prince or the seneschal as well.
Well, the seneschal's a bit of a dick.
We don't know about the coordination there.
And the prince?
The prince is interesting. But I have informed him that there is Sabbat in the city and he is making preparations.
What kind of preparations?
That's above my pay grade.
Well,
is it though?
I'd like to know his preparations.
He generally points me at things and then they go away. When he's ready to point me at something, it'll go away.
You see, apparently there's a big Sabbat evil guy thing named Christabel, something Cadabras or something. Montebello, I don't. What was the name?
DiCarlo.
Cervantes.
Cervantes.
Cristobal de Cervantes, yeah.
Cristobal de Cervantes, who is apparently going to, it's what we're hearing is he's the big stompy who is going to be showing up within the city as the boss monster, so to speak.
So he's coming, is he?
See, I don't know the name, so if he's got the press on him, I haven't heard yet.
So it sounds like something to point you at, Mr. Sheriff.
If/when he decides to show his face here, generally I'd be the one pointed at him.
Now, is it required that the prince point you at him before you take him out?
Yes.
So if he were to show up on your doorstep and the prince said nothing?
In general, it's the tradition of destruction.
Well.
Unless he puts a overall blood hunt on anyone Sabat, which he has not done yet. As far as I know, he hasn't had the time. Anyone in the city is under his purview, which means if a Sabat shows up, pokes you in the face, tries to get you to fight them, you can't kill them or destroy them unless the prince tells you.
You really think that I will not defend myself against Sabat unless I get permission?
I would expect that you would respect the traditions.
Sheriff,
How do
I
you know that it would be a Sabat?
Carrying shovels.
Sheriff, what? I mean, there are many that we probably wouldn't think are Sabat, but maybe are. What if the prince is actually a Sabat?
Well, then we've got a
Actually went there.
problem.
See,
Wouldn't that, in essence, make you impotent? Neutered?
That
Not
might not be the word to
necessarily.
use, Mr. Jaw.
If I find out that he is Sabat, I will deal with him.
you see, again, pardon my lack of education. Sometimes I'm from the old country. We do things a little different there. Over there, to be found out as Sabat is an automatic blood hunt. There is no need for waiting for the prince to say, "Oh, by the way, yes, you can kill the Sabat." It's done.
Welcome to the new world.
It's got some things to learn from the old world.
I'm not arguing.
Well,
as a member of an independent group, if I have killed Sabat and broken the tradition of destruction, oops, I am sorry. My family will send an apology note or something.
Gift basket.
See, tiny muffins. Everyone loves those tiny muffins.
Poutine.
What is?
Don't ask.
I'm just wondering. I'm sure that the prince pretty much has been presented with everybody that is residing in his domain. And I'm sure that presented to him has been, of course, the elder Nixodon returning to her domain, correct?
Nixodon.
I'm sure the prince knows about that.
Curious name to bring up.
Well, why would the prince not know that an elder is in the prince's city?
He does know that Nixodon is here.
See, according to the Primogen, and I wonder that you have not communicated with them, Nixodon is likely Sabat.
That's not good.
That was one of the things that the Primogen told us when we Senora Jude went and chatted with them and said, "So, hey, what's up? What are we doing about this Sabat thing?" And they said, "Okay, here are some pictures. There's a Nixodon in somewhere in these two, and some shovel heads, and she's coordinating bad stuff."
Do you happen to have those pictures?
See, back at Sandwich, I believe. The pictures, except for figuring out which one is Nixodon, are pretty useless. I do not think the Sabat are the sort to have normal night jobs and to hide in plain sight before they erupt. They tend to hide in the shadows in the sewers and then just mob things up. But we can provide the pictures to you if you think they would be of benefit.
Well, the gangrel being independent, I can only speak for myself, and I'm already the sheriff. I'm on board. They may not be.
What would convince them beyond their best interest? I mean, the Sabat move in, and they are not as welcoming of the independence of Gangrel as the other sects are.
Traditional Gangrel strategy would probably be to leave.
Hmm.
You would give up your home to
You
the
can only
Sabbat.
leave so much before you have no place to go.
We don't generally have homes.
That's kind
Well,
of
but-
sad.
So if you want their help, you're probably going to have to fight one of them.
Well, that's
Are there
a
rules
thing.
to this fighting?
Yeah,
One
what?
on one.
Mm-hmm.
And Jude is looking at the coterie like, is this a thing? Like,
Sounds like-
is she?
Is that all?
It's kind of a
do know-
tradition.
Mordecai, you want to rock, paper, scissors for it?
Well, I mean, we may all have to actually pick a target and dance with them, I guess.
No,
Depends on how many of them are all split.
you're unfamiliar with how this works, aren't you?
It's not like we fight Gangrel every day.
I don't intend to hang out in the woods. It's not really my thing.
Fair
Yeah,
enough.
I'm a city gal now.
I have nature on my shoes and I'm not pleased with it. So
It's kind of an old tradition where you pick the biggest, meanest one in the schoolyard and you pick a fight. That way the other kids
Oh.
respect you.
Like from jail. Like
Like,
in jail.
Poop on the nose. Okay.
And Ja looks at Jude and she says, like in jail. And he's like,
It's like, where the hell did you learn that, kid?
that's an interesting story waiting to be found out.
Well, before anybody
so
fights them,
their biggest and our biggest, and
And Ja looks up at everybody else in the group because basically everybody's taller than Ja.
how tall is Jaw at our character again?
5'7".
Okay, yeah, no, Abigail's shorter than Jaw.
Oh, okay.
Oh, well, Jude's like 6 feet tall, so.
mhm.
So Abigail's
Yeah,
the only
Abigail's like
person shorter than Ja.
5'5".
Okay. I mean, you're not gonna like. This isn't some kind of trick, right? That you're like doing this, and then it's like, I got you, and then you pin us for doing something wrong.
Gangrel don't really do gotchas.
No,
So is
that's
it
a
Okay.
Setite thing.
Is it fisticuffs?
Yes, does it have to
What-
be fisticuffs?
What other means of fighting is there?
Abigail just has a big smile on
Senor
her face.
Senor Cato carries.
Yeah, Jude's
I
looking at
carry,
Abigail
we
like-
all carry. There's lots of ways to dust up and throw hands. Is it to first bruise, first blood, pin, and cry yield? Our disciplines. There's so many things here that.
Aggravated damage.
Some disciplines are a little bit harder to disguise and not use than
See?
others.
See, so not the obvious disciplines. So if I just cloak the entire place in suffocating black and slap the crap out of people, that would not count.
That would not.
That is what I'm looking for. Excellent. That takes me out of the running. I am not the big person. I prefer not to throw hands.
And if
I
I were
think
to
after
say,
that last comment, Mordecai is itching for a fight.
and if I were to say immobilize one of them or your biggest or whatever, and then just beat him senseless after I've immobilized him, does that count?
You
That'd
guys
be
really don't
between-
get the spirit of the rules,
Ooh.
do you?
Ooh, Abigail be so cool. You could do that, and then I could come in and just be like,
What do they teach y'all in vampire school? Jesus.
Bowen looks
There's
over at Ja
vampire
like,
school, what?
right?
I went to school for assassination. We got taught some basic rules in vampire etiquette.
I got my
Probably not.
GED and then I called it a day, honestly.
Probably not the same etiquette I learned. A little
I do
different.
not imagine
Oh,
so,
I-
Mr. Giovanni.
Probably not.
So,
Well-
Senior Keita, Senior Strickland, do you want to flip a coin? How do you want to decide to do this?
And we both have our strengths in unique areas. How spry are you feeling, John?
What was that?
How spry are you feeling?
I'm feeling like I would love to see you in a real fight.
All right, fine.
So,
Let's show
Senior
what that
Strickland,
dojo has taught you.
beyond being our social hammer, so to speak, and having all the connections, tonight will also be appearing as a real hammer.
Well, hopefully.
Or a nail.
So are you guys gonna like, can we like cut promos beforehand? That'd be pretty cool, right? It's like Mordecai is like, yeah, I'm Mordecai. I'm the
Oh.
snake.
Is that like this Sunday? Or
Yeah.
whatever they say?
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
right.
It's like that. Yeah. So then the other guy too, the Mordecai's fighting, and then he like says some stuff and like talks shit and about Mordecai, and Mordecai talks shit on him, and then they like go in, and then it's like, yeah, like that.
I think Duran just took aggravated willpower damage.
I
Ow.
finally get to bring up wrestling on my own
Chef,
terms. How about that?
I'm just curious, and I mean, this is obviously something that that you may take personally because I'm about to insult your prince. But if the prince doesn't know that Nixodon is Sabat, then what is the prince really doing?
Did you know that Nixodon was Sabat?
I just found out. Well, but I'm just me. The prince is supposed to know everything that goes on in the city, right?
How many cities have you been in? Why would you
All
assume
right,
that?
all right,
Have
all
you
right.
been to Chicago?
I
That guy's an
expect,
idiot.
I expect that you
Have
will
some
be
respect
advising.
for Prince Jackson.
Hmm.
I
He survived getting
expect that
blown
you.
up.
Oh, wait, it's Jackson now. Right, okay. Jackson's okay. I totally forgot. I thought it was the other guy was still in charge.
Oh,
He
one.
ate it.
Yeah,
I think so. I think he ate it actually.
that guy was an idiot.
I agree.
Yeah, he
You will
sucked.
be telling the prince, though, I suspect. Correct? You
Yeah,
will be letting the prince know that he has a Sabat elder in his team.
after this.
All right, perfect. Thank you. I appreciate that.
Mordecai, go kick some furry backside.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right. Stone, come here.
Stone. Oh, that sounds promising.
And from the back of the gangrel, one of them kind of pushes his way through. He's like 5'6", but he looks like he's basically chiseled out of stone.
Oh,
He's
good.
a running back.
Yeah,
NFL running back style.
He looks,
Mhm.
yeah. It's one of those brick shithouse situations. Yeah, boss.
Haven't we met Stone before?
Take care of that.
Or was it not us, but the
Wasn't.
I remember the name Stone and I don't remember where.
Wasn't
Was it in
Brick.
the previous?
We met Brick, not Stone.
Yeah, you met Brick.
Could have sworn. All right.
Subtle
anyway.
but important difference. Both are put together with a bunch of concrete type stuff.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Both have 5 letters. Both have 1 syllable, which is about the max that they can handle.
Mhm.
Not designed for social interaction. Got it.
Yeah, he is definitely not designed for social interaction. So, you disciplines, not disciplines. What do you want?
I don't know. How do you normally do this?
Usually, I punch people and then they go away.
Cool. Let's stick with that. I'd rather not get torn to shit if it's all the same to you.
Okay.
I don't know if I'm happy about that or sad because it takes away one of your options, but it doesn't take anything out of me.
So, are we punching?
I mean, is there a different way to actually settle this? Can we play a game of chess? Is it
No.
a battle of wits?
No.
Which one of these vials has the iocane powder in it?
Come on, Mordecai.
Mordecai,
Kick some ass.
you're
No.
not there
Come
to
on.
bore him to death.
Well, I'm trying to confuse him
Start some
before I
shit
sucker
up.
punch him. I'm going to sucker punch him.
You're sucker
I'm kind
punching?
of jabbering at him and seeing if as confused he is, sort of thing, and then I kind of turn around to them and they're yelling at me. I turn around and crack him in the jaw.
Give me a roll.
What's the roll?
Well, Brawl is definitely one of them.
Cool.
Your choice of dex or strength.
I'm going to use strength, and I have a specialty in dirty fighting.
This would qualify.
Finally.
Because of course you do.
Because of course I do.
Hooray.
6, 9, and that's 2 extra dice for the specialty.
1 extra dice for this
1
one.
extra dice.
Nope, it's
I have already roused potence. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
9 successes.
9 successes.
He doesn't move.
Fuck. He's just not gonna. This isn't gonna go well.
So you all see Mordecai turning around to you guys like, "Come on, guys!" And then he turns around and he does the big roundhouse, and it collides with his jaw, and it's like a slow motion.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Ow!
You take a superficial damage from punching something that doesn't move, and he's like, "Oh, we're punching."
Excellent.
He's gonna punch you.
This is gonna suck.
Ugh.
I'm more of a dodger than a fighter.
Do you want to dodge?
Can I dodge?
If you want.
Yes.
That's fair.
Is that an actual?
Dex and athletics. That's right. I keep forgetting dodge isn't a skill anymore.
I know. This is promising. 5.
You get punched.
Yeah, of course I do. Jesus Christ.
You take 3 superficial after
Holy shit.
Yeah.
I'm at 4 superficial already?
Yep. Looking that way.
Oof. This isn't looking
So
good.
we're punching, right?
Wow. That was a good one. Good.
Thanks. Yeah, I've been working, I've been like punching stuff like brick walls and, other things and like rocks.
That's awesome. Actually, I would like to learn from you. You have good technique.
Well,
Good.
you see, I go like this and he's going to punch you again.
Excellent. I would like to try to sidestep that, but I don't have a lot
What's your health track looking like?
I'm at like 1 left.
Just checking.
Yeah, I'm wearing that one. That was 2. There's no way I'm gonna get.
Yeah, I have bad news.
Yeah, I'm sure you do.
So the difference between those would be another 6 successes.
Excellent.
So you take 3 superficial, which pushes you into the aggravated by 2 points.
Cool.
And you are kind of like staggering at this point. You're going to be -2 dice for anything at this point.
Oh,
and he's like, "Hey, Bowen, he's not looking so good. Should I hit him again?"
Oh, Jesus.
Abigail
Fuck.
goes up to Bowen.
Stagger
Sev,
down.
you've made your point. You've made your
Bones
point.
Stone, let him go. You beat him. Are you sure I could hit him again?
I'm staggered down, sort of thing. Hit one, do the whole 3-point bend on the ground, sort of thing. Grab a handful of dirt. Hold on. Just give me it, and I just toss it into his face.
Ah!
And then I'm going
Mordecai!
to grapple him from behind. I'm going to get him into a headlock.
Okay.
I am going to try to intercept
Stone,
Mordecai.
Stone got two
I am
punches
actually going
in.
to try to intercept Mordecai. I'm not going to try to hurt him. I'm just going to try to grab him.
So it'll be a Dex and Athletics check from Mordecai, and a Dex and Athletics check from Ja. Actually, coincidentally enough.
Yeah.
So are you
with
both
Dex.
okay with the PvP, even though it's not meant to harm?
I'm
I'm
good.
fine with
I
it.
don't know if you're good.
I'm fine with it. I got 6.
You hear from some of the other guys who are like, "Yeah, give him the suplex, come on!"
And Jude's like gesturing around, like, see?
Hold on. See. Okay. Holy shit.
Oh crap.
By intercept Mordecai, you mean give him the suplex, and then it's like a dual German suplex. Like you grab Stone around the waist and pull up, and then Ja pulls you around the waist and pull up, and
So
then you
I blew willpower.
both just fall backward.
Mostly because I
Oh.
rolled so little successes that I would have gotten a
That-
bestial failure. So instead,
Bites my hand.
I have 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 successes.
Suddenly, Mordecai just ends up with a sword through him somehow. Like I didn't even
No.
draw that.
I didn't even. It's still in my. I don't know where it came from.
I imagine
Sheath,
it's
what
more
the
like Ja just like grabbing Mordecai around the waist, like, come on, back. Because I only got one more success than he did.
You did good, champ. You did good. Like,
You're fine. You're
All right.
fine.
Save some of that for the sequel.
pull him into the corner and put him on the stool and like spray water in his face. Like,
Come on, where's my mouth guard? Come on,
and
I can take this guy.
Stone is like,
Yes. Mordecai, you did great.
That's patronizing, and I know it
I'm
is.
gonna tell you.
and the sounds that you're hearing are kind of, let's say, earth-shockingly loud. And
What?
something is stomping towards you, and it's Stone, and he, like, his eyes have gone, like, they're kind of flashing red. They're, yeah, he is not happy about that particular situation.
Abigail is gonna. Can Abigail intercept?
If
All right.
you would like,
Just bite my wrist and Scorpion's touch.
that's a good plan.
I was looking for the extinguished vitae, but I like this one too.
Extinguished Vitae she only uses on cars. Let's see. Scorpion's Touch is a strength plus blood sorcery versus their stamina plus occult or fortitude.
Oh, fuck.
I'm not
Oh,
going to
damn.
say as a storyteller hint you should rouse something.
I'm just gonna
okay.
drop this as a hint because you have no
I
chance
mean,
otherwise.
but the hunger level is a concern.
I passed. So I'm gonna rouse.
Abigail! I forgot to do the first one.
Wait.
What? Wait. No. Why are you coming up now?
That's it, Abigail. Give him the what for. He's a pugilist. You can take him down. It's fine.
Good old Donnybrook. Oh, what ho?
7 successes.
Damn.
So the eyes kind of, Abigail jumps kind of around his neck and
No. Sorry to interrupt, but I'm not going to try and attack him. I'm just going to
well,
bite my wrist and just.
he's moving pretty fast. So you're either
Okay,
going to walk in front of him or you're going to get around behind him. That's the
okay.
thing.
So I guess I'll just get around behind him and just touch him on the back or somewhere
So
that I can hit.
what Mordecai and Ja see, because you're kind of backing up a little bit further now, that you see like, because this is like earth shock that he's using in his feet to move towards you, and he is just a brick shithouse. The eyes are red. He's coming towards you. You're like, oh fuck, we're gonna get punched a lot. And then you just see like the eyes kind of lower in intensity, and then he just kind of goes face down.
Did you
And
really have to antagonize him, Mordecai?
I hustle over to him.
Abigail is behind him.
I hustle over to him quick, turn him over, hook the leg, and pin him.
Bloody hell, Mordecai, stop!
I need a 3 count.
Mordecai?
Jude, help me out.
Jude's coming down. Jude's sliding in beside Mordecai.
Sliding.
She's going, and she gets down on her knees and goes, 1, 2, 3.
Okay, purely
Puffs
for
off,
show.
tears open his shirt.
Give me a Dex and Athletics roll for Jude for the
Oh man,
the artistry
okay.
of the
Jeez
slide,
Louise.
because you need like the baseball slide in there.
And
You
Ja
just
moves
like to
over
punish
Duran,
me
like,
with dex rolls. That's
why do we
that's
even
what's going on
bother?
here.
Like, why even try?
As the play is the thing.
So I talked to the sheriff and the sheriff was going to stop him. You went after him anyway. I took
what?
him
That's not
down. You
true.
go after him anyway. Why?
He
Get one.
punched me. So I'm just saying.
It wasn't the best baseball slide into like the 1, 2, 3, but yeah, you did.
Forgotten my softball technique. Yeah. So then Jude's like holding Mordecai's hand up, like yeah.
The Gangrel and Bowen are kind of like, he's not going to be happy when he wakes up.
Well, tell
He was
him
looking
that-
really scary for a second. We had to make sure Mordecai was okay.
He was provoked into a frenzy by somebody who, when the fight was over, decided to fight dirty.
I would like to point out that the fight was not over.
He
Senor
punched me.
Mordecai had thrown 1 punch. Senor Stone had thrown 2 in trading punches. Now, was it a little dirty? See, you were discussing that it was over. I did not hear it called as over. And be very happy, I did not step in to shut shit down.
Bowen did actually say, stop fighting him.
Shh.
I honestly didn't hear that.
I didn't either.
Yeah, I actually called the fight.
I had a ringing in my ears.
Probably just because
Well-
you got hit.
Yeah.
All
yeah,
right.
I know.
So
See.
do we have an accord then?
We did the thing. Are we good?
You'd have to ask him.
Well, he's asleep.
Come on, you see, we've got the spirit. We've got the spirit.
Willing to bet that it's probably going to be a no.
So you are going to base the decision for not yourself. You are the sheriff. You have other responsibilities. But you're telling me that the rest of your clan here are going to base the decision on the statement made
On
by
whether-
someone who was asking, do I get to punch him again, boss? So you're not led by the smartest or the sharpest or the best at survival. You are led by the biggest stump, is what you're telling me.
He's the best at survival.
I would not count on that. Survival doesn't just require muscles, it requires intelligence.
Here's the thing, though.
Survival
Two of us.
also requires some sort of nicety occasionally.
Well-
Tossing dirt in someone's eyes when they're thinking about finishing the fight, that's not it.
If I may,
You may not.
I'm going to anyway. What are you going to do? If the fight had gone on as it had, maybe your tree trunk would have finished it. Maybe he might not have. When Abigail stepped in, that, if nothing else, is a demonstration of what more than one kindred can do to him, the leader. And we felled him in 2 shots. He's helpless right now. What do you think the Sabbat will do?
See, the Sabbat won't play fair. Like
And
the
that
gangrel,
was it?
like
That's
the
2. They
gangrel
have
just
6.
were.
They have gangs.
You need to stop talking.
So where do we go from here, Sheriff?
I'm gonna help with the Sabbat. They are probably not.
That is unfortunate.
So they're just gonna let their home just be. Well, oh, I'm sorry. You don't have a
Really their
home. It's not a
They'll
home.
just wander away.
See,
Now,
Wow.
I would advise wandering sooner rather than later. There is going to be a lot going on. There are going to be 2 sides. There is no place for those in the middle.
there isn't.
So I would recommend that they wander the soonest.
They'll probably be out of here fairly soon.
Bien, that is good to hear. It is unfortunate. It is a loss. But we have our ways, they have theirs.
You do.
See,
While this is happening, Jal pulls out a little notebook. And he starts writing a few things on it. And then before we leave, I'm going to take it over to Stone and I'm going to stick the note in his pocket.
What does the note say for future reference?
The note says, "You look like you like to fight. There'll be plenty more where this came from, and chances for revenge." And it has Ja's card, his bounty hunter card with
the
it, so he can
bounty
call.
hunter. Yeah. See
This
that right
this
there?
form of negotiation
Probably
not going to work. So I'm changing the paradigm here.
That probably will work. All things considered.
I mean, if Mordecai happens to get, jumped while the battle's going on,
It's not really about Mordecai getting jumped. I don't think Mordecai will get in the way of fighting Sabat where Gangrel
Mordecai's
are.
not going to be
So,
anywhere near
that's why Josh thinking that far ahead. But offer that carrot on the stick that maybe I can just sneak attack Mordecai and maybe that'll make him feel better. Who knows?
He probably wouldn't anyway, but
Senor Rico, it has been a pleasure. I'm sure we'll cross paths again.
we will.
Sheriff?
Hey, so question. As you have an ear to the prince, any chance for presentation for those of us who haven't yet actually met him?
Should probably go to the Elysium.
Cool.
Which is when and where?
It's pretty much all the time at the library.
The prince hangs out there all the time. I'm used
Wouldn't
to
say he
cities where
hangs out there all the time.
Elysium is a periodic festival type thing,
but,
business meeting and
it's not really a North
enjoyment.
American way.
Toronto, Ottawa, New York City.
In general, the Elysium is declared, and then that particular building is protected as Elysium. Kindred come and go as they please.
See, the gathers at Elysium now, where one would meet the prince, tend to be on a schedule.
Dang, I kind of want to go to one day though.
Oh, we'll go to this one. It would just be nice to know when the next scheduled gather is,
Yeah, I
rather
want to
than
go to a
wandering
big
in and
party one, not
picking
a
up
library
2
one.
or 3 people.
The prince generally announces that himself.
It has
Yeah.
been a while since the last one, though, hasn't it?
It's been a while. Yeah, it has.
Well,
I'm thinking maybe the prince is
well, one of them is. I mean, we had another prince. Just
I mean, we don't hear from him. Every time his intermediaries doesn't greet people that come into the city who are looking for them. It just seems questionable to me.
See,
He is
I
pretty
don't know.
busy.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
Abigail just
Busy
turns to
being
jaw.
before you
Probably
showed up,
Sabat.
before you showed up here, you dealt with my intermediary.
Well, thank you for that. She was a pleasure to work with.
She's damn good at what she does.
we look forward
Jaw's
to seeing you both on the battlefield.
Just so you know, Sheriff, I think you would really get along with the prince in Milwaukee. Like, I feel like you guys would like really you
Who's the
vibe.
prince
Like,
in Milwaukee?
his name's Mark Decker, and he loves to hunt the Garu, and he's like a real rough and tumble. He's with the baseball team. I don't know. You kind of remind me of him, sort of.
Some people intentionally go to the Midwest.
Well, that's where I'm from, so you know.
I suppose.
Okay, well, nice to meet you.
And you?
See you around, I guess.
Sooner rather than later, most likely.
Be
Good
careful.
luck. Don't die.
And you?
I think we're possibly making our
Oh
way.
yeah, heading back to
Yeah,
the limo.
heading back. Yeah.
Is everyone making their way? I know.
Making my way downtown.
Yeah, Jude's definitely walking away. She's so bored.
I'm assuming Abigail is, because Joe is indisposed with cat matters. Oh wait, there she's back.
Jude, did you want it? Did you want to do that fight? Was that what you were itching for?
Nah. Because I mean, you saw him. He would have just like crushed me pretty much, and I couldn't use any blood sorcery. That's kind of like my extra trick when the fighting doesn't work. And I feel like the fighting that I would have dished out would have kind of not worked immediately. So I think I would have probably been kind of screwed. Sorry,
Maybe you should
Mordecai.
learn a trick or two from the roses or something. Might help you out in the future.
Maybe I don't honestly like know. I don't really know what they do besides like lie.
Seduce. They're really good at that.
Yeah.
Is Mordecai going with everyone?
Oh yeah.
Is
Feel
anybody
like I
else
wanna.
hungry?
Yeah.
I'm really hungry.
Yeah.
Grab a Snickers.
Yourself.
Mordecai, who do you have DJing at your place tonight?
Who do you want me to get?
No, I'm just wondering. I mean, I
mean-
don't have to go there.
I can make a phone call. I can have anybody you want in the city.
No, it's fine. I was wondering
It's
if
no
you
problem.
had anybody specifically, and then if you did, I would potentially go and have a conversation with one of the people dancing. That's all.
Name someone.
Well, blah blah blah. Naming
Sure.
a DJ.
Call up Alexia.
Hello.
Alexia, darling.
Hmm.
What the name was? that guy,
Oh, DJ Blah Blah.
yeah,
Yeah.
DJ blah blah. It's canon now, so best DJ in Vancouver does all the things. Can we get
I
him
know
there?
some
Say,
DJs that know DJ Blah Blah. It's fine.
let's change it. Let's change up the party night tonight. Let's get him in there. Let's do some. Let's get things hopping. It's more festive. It's Halloween coming. I mean,
It is.
you can let
Thank
him
you, Mordecai. I do appreciate it.
make us a su casa.
I'm sure you have a criminal or two at your place.
You wound me, John. My operation is completely above board.
Sheriff's not
See?
here, Mordecai.
See, he has politicians and big businessmen, so it's full of criminals.
Precisely.
I'm a patron of the arts.
I'm sure there's someone I can punch, right?
He
Cool.
does have that fight club downstairs, doesn't he?
I mean, yes. I prefer you didn't feed on those fellas. Let's see what I can arrange.
Okay, I mean, I guess it doesn't have to be like that, but that's kind of, and I'm feeling kind of, the energy. I'd like to do that before I feed. I won't hurt him that bad. I just, this is
I'll
just
take you on.
to get
I
it
got
started.
still some.
Nah, man, come on, come on, give it up, man.
Mordecai, what happened?
That dude is tough. I hit him solid. I would have killed a normal man. That would have taken down most kindred. That dude didn't even flinch.
Well, shit.
See, he
I
is
kind of regret
aptly
talking
named.
about it.
Glad it wasn't me.
He is very aptly named.
Are we back to the limo?
At this point, yeah, you would be.
Mercy's like freaking out.
And then
Bet.
Ja tells y'all the note that he left. It's like, I left Guy a note. The gang girls speak a certain language of violence that I think I might have appealed to.
Cool.
Oh, that's a good idea.
See, quite.
I'm quite sorry, Mr. Mordecai, that I interrupted.
My beating?
Stone's-
No, please. Anytime you want to
Because
step
I know that you wanted to win this, but quite frankly, I feel like we would prefer to have you alive, and I could see that that was not going to be the case.
Jaw coming in there and kind of hooking me around the waist with that steel chair thing, but I still managed to get a suplex in, and then that sneaky thing with the opposite manager coming in and knocking the guy out.
I wasn't trying to keep you
Theatrics.
from
Loved
fighting. It was
The
just
crowd went wild.
exactly. Ja's like exactly, and just
Yeah,
Just
that dude,
agreed.
they,
like you can
That-
see the question marks over his head right now, like an anime.
Yes? John knows. Or Jude knows.
Well, I guess I'm glad I didn't let him kill you.
Yes, thank
yeah.
you.
I still think Dave Meltzer would have given it like probably like a 3 or like
That
maybe
guy's
like
a
a 2.5. Yeah, he sucks. Yeah, I agree, but he's kind of the guy. At least I'm not talking about Cornet or anything. Man, I'm talking about a guy that sucks.
He's still alive.
Abigail disappeared there for a second.
Or the
Wrong button. It's fine.
okay. Yeah, he's still alive. I saw him in some dumb documentary like from a year ago.
Oh, these people look. Must be some amazing drugs, or he's one of us.
Ew.
So, where do we go from here then? We have chain loons to deal with.
See, we will be visited by Chauncey and or representatives of that court tomorrow night.
We also have a
Oh, yeah, we
family
didn't
member
even
of
mention
yours to
that.
meet.
See, potentially, and we also still have the Raphael Fine Art Auction House to go find out what happened to family there that's gone missing. I
let's
do
go
not.
fuck up an auction house. That sounds like a great place to
I
be.
do not have a timing on Giancarlo yet, but soon, I imagine. Um, and we should probably check out the Elysium on the top floor of the library, see who's around. I am doubting that the prince himself will be there, but there was that keeper of the Elysium, Nosferatu.
I have a question.
Oh, Frank?
What if we just started
See, Frank.
calling ourselves powerful positions? Who would stop us?
I mean,
At this
theoretically,
point-
the individuals in the current positions, if we actually took them.
Guess what, Mr. Mordecai? You're a harpy now. Congratulations.
That is how
That's actually the
harpies
only way it
happen.
works.
Really, is they act like harpies and everyone assumes they're harpies. It's the old clipboard routine. Walk in with a clipboard and you're ready to go. We could ask around and see if there's a Banu Hakim primogen. If there's not, this is how praxis happens. Someone stands up and says, "Guess what? I want to be the prince."
I think that would be Jude.
See,
And I don't know that declaring praxis right before Sabbat incursion is necessary.
now it's not. There's still much learning to do.
I'm waiting
Prince
for the
isn't
perfect
dead.
moment to strike.
See,
The current prince isn't actually, deposed or gone or dead or destroyed.
know that for
Yeah,
sure?
oh,
I
you
know
don't,
that.
you don't have to wait for
I-
that to declare praxis.
True.
Praxis is often what you declare first, and then there's death and dying and disappearing. And,
Yeah, yeah.
About that prince, though, here's my question. Does nobody find it odd? And I know that everybody says princes are so busy and whatnot, but that an elder is a Sabbat member, that he would not know that.
You wouldn't even know she's in the city, apparently.
Yeah, that seems weird to me. Because I thought that was the whole thing, is people all giving the information to the prince, and then the
This
prince
is
has to
why I
decide
said
what to
maybe
do.
the princes.
Which means her presence was masked or deliberately withheld from.
one, it is an elder Nosferatu, and they can get up with things. Two, different cities work in different ways. As Signorico mentioned, that Europe is very different from North America in some cities. In many cities, the primogen are the advisors of the prince and present them with information. The primogen here do not seem to do that. They are the voices of the clans, but they don't seem to say anything.
Yeah, because isn't
So
there
the
usually
prince
like
is
a
not
council?
hearing. That would be the primogen.
They like
and the
all sit down and they
seneschal
meet
and
together
see.
and they decide
And
stuff.
they
Yeah.
trade information,
I
etc.,
haven't been
etc.
invited. I haven't been invited to any of these.
See,
There haven't
so
been any.
I think the prince not knowing what is going on is the fault of the prince, C, and the fault of the seneschal. Possibly Signor Rico, he seems to be point and fire, not come back with information. Definitely the primogen, possibly the harpy or scourge if there is one.
Abigail.
We'd have to talk to the keeper.
I have a question for you.
Absolutely.
If there was someone in the circle of the Camarilla here that you knew you wanted dead, who would it be?
That's an odd question. I don't quite know.
Well, while everyone is playing checkers, let's play some chess here.
All right.
Our prince is indisposed, wherever he is. Jude,
The seneschal is the same.
the same. Jude potentially wants the princedom at some point. However, now would be a very bad time for someone to declare praxis. But what if we declared praxis for someone else? This person wants to be the prince. Let's paint the target on their back. Let's take them out of the picture, because what better way to weaken a city than to take out their prince?
I don't have anybody in mind, but if any of you do have anybody in mind, I mean,
Something to think about.
An interesting gambit. Very interesting.
The only one that I could see wanting to maybe not get rid of, but at least to not be in the way anymore would probably only be the seneschal, simply because he rubs me the wrong way. He seems to, I don't even know how to describe it, just rubs me the wrong way. But he would tend to not get caught up in such affairs, and he's a little bit too smart to take the role of a prince when he can get everything done he can as a seneschal. That is smart. I won't deny that. But other than that, I don't know of anybody other than maybe those Primogen members that we've already established are already Sabat.
No, that would not work well.
You don't want to put a Sabat in that chair. But
No.
at the same
I
time, I
just
don't
think
think
they're
they're
already.
smart enough to put that into play. But that's another game for another day.
See,
Hmm.
is there a
There's
bourgeois primogen in
something
this
that
city?
crossed my mind.
Pardon me, Mr. Thrawn?
Is there a bourgeois primogen in this city?
I believe so. I haven't met them. I haven't had the pleasure of meeting them yet.
So there's another person of position that we should seek out, possibly, and find out why they are a primogen and voice of their clan, and yet they have not met you, or I'm betting that they are probably unknown to the other primogen as well.
Well, the issues surrounding the disappearance of the last prince were very, very suspect. They were quite unusual. And I'm not sure if this hasn't all been orchestrated as a, shall we say, making the power basically fall apart before sending in the Sabbat. Let the house of cards fall before we take it over and build it back up in a Sabbat way, is what I would say.
Well, it would be interesting if those at the very, very top have that in mind, because they're going to find that, much as Senor Cato's reference to chess, while one would think the king is the most important piece on the board, he is rarely so. He's important, but not very powerful. Pawns, when properly used, are incredible pieces. And so far, we are organizing quite the army of pawns. It will be interesting to hear from the Primogen coterie through Harley what instructions they would offer or advice. I am going to bet it comes in paragraph form and is more than 500 words.
So hearing all of this, and then like kind of what happened with the sheriff, like I'm wondering, like beyond the prince, beyond the sheriff, whatever, beyond the other coterie, and then being Primogen, is there some other like grand puppet master that's like orchestrating this conspiracy that like it's even above like the prince, and it's like a lizard person or like an Illuminati or something like that? Like, because I don't know, this is all
It's entirely possible. As they say, it's turtles all the way down, or fleas, depends on which story you want to listen to. There are justicars, there's an inner council, there are elders, there are autarchus, there are so many people playing so many games among our folk.
I don't know. I'm just trying to like really zoom out and like see the whole picture.
The whole picture is going to be very hard to see because
See,
vampires do not move quickly. Kindred move slowly because they have hundreds and thousands of years to make their plots come to fruition. So
Probably some
It's like
Methuselah moving us all around like chess pieces, and we're the pawns. So only
well,
so much we can know. I mean,
that kind
Mr.
of sucks,
Giovanni's
honestly.
family is pretty much that all the way down. So
Oh, see, everything since 1444 and since the promise of 1528. It is one long plan.
Speaking of Methuselah's moving pieces around the board, that's me. And it's pretty much time to call an end to this particular episode. It seems like a good
Spoiler.
place to wrap it up. It was the storyteller the whole time.
No.
You were the butler? Damn.
With the candlestick
But were there
in the library.
but were there 5 bullets or 6 bullets?
But there are only 4 lights.
Right.
Are there?
There are 4 lights.
Thank you everybody for coming and viewing our episode. We are building towards something, according to the Methuselahs, and we're heading in that direction. So we are going to thank you all for any bits or any subscriptions that you sent our way. It all goes to these people and the people in the other shows and the other shows and these other shows over here. It goes to all the people that you see on stream for all the VBN stuff. Thank you so much for that. And we are going to do some quick outros, and then we're going to hop over to, I believe, Philly by Night is returning this week.
we're back. Oh yeah, to the
So
future.
oh yeah, there's like kaiju kings and stuff. You
Yeah.
definitely want to pay attention and show up because this sounds my kind of vampire game. Let's so let's go in the opposite order for the outros, and let's start with Cliff.
Thanks for watching, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Cliff. I can be found all over the internet as the Vintage Self. I got to play the wonderful Duran Giovanni, the tailor who's now making it up as he goes along out of whole cloth because, hey, let's see where it goes to next. Every night is a surprise. I also, besides appearing here during the Vampire Takeover on Wednesdays on this very channel at 6:30 p.m. EST, I have the pleasure of storytelling an amazing motley in Tales from the Rookery, Toronto by Day, where they are now starting to enter a world of wonderful darkness. And I can be found here and there in other places. At some point, I will be appearing as a guest on Prince William by Night. Not sure when that's happening. They've got a lot of content in the bag, but that'll be coming up soon. And that's me. On to the next.
Over to you, Sarah.
Hey, my name's Sara. I play Jude. You can find me on Twitter at MC Diabetes. I'm a creative partner at Marley Games. We actually just released a schedule image for the upcoming November. So we got a slasher one shot for Halloween that I believe you would have been able to see today or Friday. That's very fun. Check that out for the spooky season. We have just check out the image. We have lots of stuff, sci-fi, horror, vampire, all that nice stuff. I'm the Vancouver by Night channel weekend warrior, so you can see me Friday, Saturday, Sunday on this channel. Friday with Skin Deep at 5 p.m. PST, a bespoke horror game using the V5 rules. So proud of that. It's you would have seen the episode ramping up on Friday.
Oh
So
yeah.
it's just getting more every session is more intense. I can guarantee you that. So please check that out. And obviously on Sunday, the Fandolin by Night D&D. And this particular weekend, because it's Halloween on Sunday, we have a supersized D&D one shot that has some narrative tie-in with the Fandolin by Night game, and the would-be heroes as well are in that game. It's an awesome mashup between the two D&D Vancouver shows. It's super sized, so just stick with us for a couple hours. It's a it's
Starts at noon.
it's a beast. So yes, it's starting early.
Hydrate.
Yes. Right. So I think that'll do it for me. So thank you, everybody.
Yeah, with that one, Sarah, the other Sarah, DM slash would be hero Sarah, she basically made the sandwich in the time honored traditional way of stacking a whole bunch of stuff on top of each other and then just hitting it with a mallet.
Worked well.
Mike.
Hey, I am Mike. I played Mordecai. He's still confused, but he's got a plan now, not to die, and other plans that you'll find out later. You can catch my pre and post COVID cosplay adventures at Canadian Captain America on Instagram and TikTok, and CDN Cap America on Twitter. You can catch my Dungeon and Dragons' playing on Sundays at 2 p.m., but this Sunday it's at 12 p.m., where I'm actually playing in that big thing as a character. And Sangani has a lot more levels than he has now, and I might just rebuild him from that. I don't know. We'll see. But there's a whole plot into that. You can catch me on Tuesdays, 6 p.m. PST, DMing my own game of Would-Be Heroes, in which Storyteller Steve is a part where he plays a Dragonborn with a beard, with a thing. And I believe the Motley on Wednesdays has not seen the last of Donovan.
Dun dun dun. And Prince.
Everybody, I'm Prince, aka Doubles the Dice around the internet. You can catch me over on Rolling These 20s, obviously, tonight after the show. But if you missed it yesterday, by the time you see this, I will have ran a D&D one-shot with my wife. We're co-DMing a game. I'll have Kelly the Opera Geek, Senziak on there, D&D Jordan Lee, several others that I can't remember right now. You're going to probably smash me for saying this. Oh, Fairbear is one of them. Yeah, anyway, that game will happen yesterday. Go check the VODs. It'll be on my channel. I was on the World of Darkness channel last week. Check that out. And keep an eye out on my stuff. I have a whole bunch more coming out. I am ridiculously busy, and I'm hyped that I am. And if you're going to be at PAX U, I'll be there as well. I'm on a couple of panels. It's going to be dope. And I'll see y'all there.
And last but certainly not least, Joanna.
Hello, my name is Joanna. I was playing Abigail for you this evening. You will find me on Twitter at Hyrule Gardner. You will find me here on Saturdays. On Wednesdays, you will find me in that motley playing a thieving, horrible Pisky who doesn't mean to be thieving. And you will also find me occasionally on some of our Patreon stuff. We do have a Patreon. If you are able, please, by all means, join our Patreon. It's on only $1 for the first tier to get you some great content, a little bit of spice to your vampire content. And we are also starting to collect for Extra Life. We will be doing an Extra Life 24-hour stream in November, though not the same weekend that all the other big streams are happening. And we're hoping to have some great guests in, and we are also hoping to be able to raise as much money as we can for the BC Children's Hospital. We really want to help the kidlets, so if you could help us help the kidlets, that would be awesome.
Yeah, the link is over there. I am Storyteller Steve. To add on to what Joanna just said about Patreon, we just uploaded the Duran and Mordecai meeting part 2, so you can see what happened in between the mid-season break between those two particular plotter and schemer kindred.
Nothing happened.
Plotting? Scheming? What?
What?
No, it was a tea party.
We did not.
It was a lovely tea party.
We definitely did not sell the rest of the coterie up the river.
No. We sold them down the river. The nice place
okay,
down the river.
Totally different.
Yeah, you don't send them up Shit Creek without a paddle. You let the current take them.
Exactly.
Yeah.
The water falls down the river.
That's true. So yeah, go check that out. All you need is $1 for the first tier. Check out our YouTube if you want to see all of our back episodes. If you want to get up on a bunch of stuff, definitely check out Skin Deep on Fridays, because that is absolutely amazing. Lex did an amazing job. I've already put her name in for the TTRPG Gifts like most evilest DM award thing because yeah, it's just like with the tail end of the third episode is where things got really cranked up, and I was like, oh my god, this is happening.
You're not ready, dude.
I'm probably not
You're
ready
not.
for the rest of it.
You're really not.
Yeah, it's yeah. It's very horrible, and that's a compliment. Horror like horror adjacent. No, it's just horror. It's really just horror.
It's not
it really
adjacent.
is.
It's just
Adjacent.
horror.
So yeah, check that out. Changeling Wednesdays, as per usual, which is awesome. The Motley is getting into trouble, partially because of Joanna's thieving biscuit. You know, it happens.
Luckily,
And
that's
this-
not the reason we're getting in trouble.
No. This week we're going to learn some interesting things about the Motley.
dun dun dun.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Tuesday D&D and Sunday Fandolin by Night. Show up for the Halloween special because it's going to be awesome. 5 hours of content on that one. It's going to be an all-day kind of run. So yeah, check us out. And if you want, down below us, there is the schedule for Twitch, and check it out. We're going to raid over to Prince in Philly by night, and Prince is going to do another quick change that he's so famous for. Yeah, so we will see you here next week along after you check out all the other stuff. So we will see you next week. Bye.
Bye. Goodbye.